All right. You can now receive. Okay. All right, guys, I'm back. Let's see what happened. They gave me the boot. TikTok said, yo, get off. Let's see what's going on here. I saw something because I saw the chat freeze. It's crazy. Welcome back, guys. TikTok got me. I didn't do anything. It just booted me off. See? I can't deal with somebody else having control over my speech. All I know is I was talking, hey, how we doing, Chocolate City? All I know I was in the middle of talking, and TikTok said, yo, they just cut me off. I don't know what happened. I just got booted off live. I guess it is. I noticed that when I try to offer information, which is professional information, TikTok be like, no, 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 that's not what we want. Hey, Leela, good evening. I noticed that all of a sudden it just froze, and that was it. So let me get everybody back in here a second. Because TikTok said, nah, bro, you're not teaching no class tonight. Quelly, good evening, Quelly. Or Shelly, if I got that wrong. Or Kelly. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And I hate messing up people's names. I know many of you heard me say that before. And if y'all were just in here, come on in, come on back. Hey, Cookie, come on back. TikTok literally just gave me the boot. They just kicked me out. Didn't tell me nothing. I didn't do anything wrong. No violations. They just ended the live. I became a title. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah. So we're gonna try to get back to this. See, this is why you gotta be careful. You come on. Now you see why I'm torn about creating my own community because I want to be able to move to where Tim could have stopped. And I just talked about it. Tim could have stopped it. So let's back up. If you were in when it got knocked off, please tell me where. What was the last thing you heard before it froze? Hello, how we doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, I am on live. Yes, I told you I'd be on between 9:30 10 o'clock, but I was on a little while ago and TikTok gave me the boot. I want to go through these disorders or the things that I see that are connected to how Tim moves. Because as I just said earlier, I don't know if you guys heard it, I believe he is the villain in this. And you guys heard me. I did offer an opportunity to have a conversation with him, to have a conversation. Tim's dad told him, okay, thank you. That's what you heard, Tim's dad. Thank you so much. So that's what TikTok said. Now you're getting too real and jump me off. Y'all keep tapping the screen. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you for looking at the gift. What is that? Okay, let's go. Brenay really thinks she's normal. Actually, I want everybody to write their questions down that we have when I'm done because I will gladly answer all your questions. Keep tapping the screen and thank you for the gifts. I appreciate that. I'm going to go through 6 disorders. And these are disorders that I believe are connected to what I have seen in Tim's behavior with his time online. And yes, he is the key. And like I had said to all of you earlier, I don't believe when he said a father, his father shut down the relationship between him and Brenay and didn't tell him. I don't believe that. Happy Friday to you as well. I don't believe any father would tell their son, you can't be with a woman and not explain why. It doesn't even make sense because this is the same kid who played football, same kid who went to school, and he should be. That's why again he's the fire starter because he holds all the keys. Hey, how we doing? Thank you so much. He holds all the keys. He didn't have to lay with anybody. He didn't have to cheat on his wife. He didn't have to disrespect his cousin or friend in Devon. He didn't have to do any of that. And I don't care about what Brenay offered him and all of that stuff like that. The offer is the offer. He is still the person holding the keys the minute he says yes. Cheating is never the answer to anything. It doesn't solve anything. It just feels good to the person cheating and the person who's receiving, but it doesn't fix your relationship issue. It doesn't. I went through it. Had to go to therapy and all of that. So the opportunity, yes, he is an opportunist, but that makes him the villain. Because as the villain, he could have said no. He could have stopped all of this. He still could if he wanted to. But it's very hard when you're the beneficiary of all the things nasty. If you're the person laying down and getting it, you're the person getting the funds. If you're the person being treated like a god, it is very difficult to say, no, don't do it. If you guys have ever seen the movie Hoosiers, the woman said, should everything stop because he gets treated like a god for 5 minutes? Gene Hackman said, I know people who would kill, or unalive, excuse me, I know I can't use certain words, would unalive people to be treated like a god for 5 minutes. So you see, because he is an opportunist, when all these opportunities were presented, he lost his mind. But I don't think he did. I think a lot of this was a problem long before he let this get to where it got. Because the fact that he won't cover his wife, the fact that he disrespects his ex-wife, the fact that he takes no, Brenay doesn't enable him. He enables himself. She doesn't enable him. She offers him. See, the offer doesn't enable because he already knew what he wanted. Because the whole time, and this is why you got to go all the way back to those videos where he's dancing around and he's bopping and all this stuff with his wife in the house. He knew what he was doing, but it was the attention. It was the drug of the attention. Go back to when they was moving and y'all were saying in the video, stop flirting with Tim. And she's like, oh, they think you flirting. He comes over and he looks on the camera. What are they talking about? And if you listen to the little slick comments that he says, it's always to make him seem bigger about himself. When a person does that, they're hiding something. And when you go back to the live with BG, when they were on and Devin was on, he continued to try to punk Devin because he knew y'all were watching. So Brenay doesn't enable him. She actually enjoys it. She gets a kick out. He enables her because he lays back and lets her embarrass herself and he never stops it. He doesn't come on and say, yo, why don't y'all chill on my wife? Listen, y'all don't understand. He doesn't say anything. So a man that would let his wife walk down a short plank into shark-infested waters, what kind of husband is that? He is the villain. And he's so much of a villain that he's learned how to ease back and let y'all throw all the rocks at his wife while he benefits. Now, let me get into why that is. And if y'all are ready, and I'm glad I got everybody back. We're almost back to where we were. So again, thank you to everybody that's here. Thank you for tapping the screen. Thank you for the gifts that have come up. I appreciate you. Hold all your questions. I will gladly answer your questions. I am here tonight to hang out with you. Well, Dr. Phil blew him up because he was out of his arena. He was with a person that does this for real. And again, he was next to a man. But he was next to a man that wasn't going to feed him BS. He was next to a man that wasn't going to baby him. He was next to a man that wasn't going to sit back and marvel at him being whatever. And that's why when he asked the questions, he folded up into the little boy that he was. No disrespect, but that's what it is. When a grown man acts like a child, they sit like this, like a child. And when Dr. Phil started to ask questions, he couldn't answer because he wasn't prepared to be exposed. He thought he could control it. To say I cheated, but I didn't have sex. Well, then you had emotional sex. You cheated emotionally, but you don't understand that. So you don't even know that you played yourself. Then you said we didn't do nothing. Dr. Phil blew him up. So I guess you're a hell of a conversationalist. Not getting that he's embarrassing you because he's like, you're going to sit here and try to lie to me, but so you're just talking to him. Okay. And the idea is that you still don't realize you were disrespecting your ex-wife, even acknowledging it. Really? But at the same time, the person who is smiling at you, who's feeding off of your negative energy, is sitting there grinning at you like this because she's going to feed you what you should say because you have given her your power. He's the enabler. But let's get into this. If you guys are ready, I'm going to give you the list. Do you think Tim? I'll answer all the questions. I don't want to get sidetracked. I got you. I'll answer every question. Please hold on to your questions. Please write them. I got you. If you guys are ready for my list, please let me know you're ready. Put I'm ready in the chat, and I'll get ready to get started. And again, thank you to everyone that is here. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the gifts. I appreciate you. Put ready in the chat if you're ready for my list. I want you to grab a piece of paper or a pen, get your backup phone, whatever you want to use to write this down. I know some of the T pages are here. Appreciate you. Go ahead and run with it after I give it to you. It is okay. All right, we got our ready. Okay. Okay. We got a bunch I'm ready's. Okay, y'all are ready. All right, let's go with the first one. Golden child syndrome. Write that down. And if somebody wants to be my mod for the night, put that in the chat. Golden child syndrome. I'll go when I see it in the chat. Somebody drop it in the chat and I'll move on because I want to make sure folks get this. And I want to make sure if you want to go look it up, you can. So I'm going to give you some brief parts of that. There we go. Golden child syndrome. That's what I was waiting on. Thank you, Cookie. Okay, golden child syndrome. This occurs when a parent, often a controlling or narcissist mother, over idolizes and excessively spoils a child, shielding them from accountability and normal consequences. As adults, these golden children often expect special treatment. They lack empathy and can exhibit entitled or aggressive behavior when they do not get their way. Did you hear what I said? You see, when y'all start yelling narcissist and all this, there's so much more than you don't understand. Now you can look this up, and I'm putting it out there because I want you to understand it drives me crazy. And yes, it could be. That's why I'm giving it to you. It drives me crazy when I hear people keep saying the same thing. Yes, narcissism could be, but there's so many others. And this is why therapy is necessary, because the minute we start yelling things out, other people hear it, they keep repeating it. Now we done created a rabbit hole that doesn't help anybody. And the person who may have a different disorder than what everybody is saying gets to hide because he goes, I don't know what y'all talking about. So, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. So let me just make this disclaimer right now. I never want to be disrespectful to anybody. So if something that I say steps on your toes, it wasn't on purpose. I will apologize that you feel negative about what I said, but I won't apologize about what I said because I'm a believer in what I say and I stand on it. What I can't stand on is how you feel. I can't change what I do because you have a negative feeling about what I do. You always have the luxury of turning this off. And you also have the luxury of not liking me and blocking me. You can do that too. I'm not going to lose any sleep about it either way. Because at the end of the day, the thing that you will never catch me doing, lying. I have no reason to. So that's number one. Y'all ready to go to number two? Tell me if you're ready to go to number two. Say, I am ready. I'm here tonight. Listen, I'm on vacation. I got time tonight, as they say. Let me know if you're ready. Put I'm ready. Thank you for the heart. Hey, Chef. Love you, darling. That's my friend right there. All right, I'm ready. Let's go. Thank you. I appreciate you. And thank you for them hearts on the side of the screen. I appreciate you. All right. Everybody ready? Number two. And again, you will see how these connect to Tim. How you draw the lines is on you. I just want you to see how it connects to some of the behaviors we have. And I'm only focusing on Tim tonight. I'm not focusing on Brenay. So if it connects to Brenay, that's fine. I'll deal with that another day. She's been talked about enough. I'm going after the person that I know, that I've seen do some things that I just go, man, come on, let's talk about this. But okay. Number two, mother. Are y'all ready for number two? Yeah, I see it. Number two, mother-son enmeshment. I know you ain't heard that one. Mother-son enmeshment. And enmeshment is Enmeshment. Enmeshment. Mother-son enmeshment. Where my mod, y'all could put it in the chat. I'm like, what? How do I spell that? Mother-son enmeshment. Emeshment. Yeah, I know. I got you. Listen, I said we're going to talk tonight. Thank you. I like that. Keep the list for me. The reason why, again, I'm not trying to flex, but I'm trying to show you there's a lot more than you realize. Thank you so much. Now, here we go. What is mother-son enmeshment? This happens when healthy boundaries are crossed and the son becomes the primary emotional confidant or substitute partner for the mother. The son may feel trapped in a confusing duality of being simultaneously over dependent on his mother and resentful of her control, which manifests as hostility and emotional volatility. Have we not seen that at court? When Tim is stomping around, they taking pictures of me. And the mother goes, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But we don't see the same thing with, we're here because of you. She's not checking him. She's babying him. These are the things you got to pay attention to. Sister, why are you videotaping us? Not, why are we here? But the sister, I believe, is dealing with guilt. That's why little things she keeps dropping. She keeps trying to distance herself, but she can't because that's her brother. She knows this is wrong, and she knows she's played both sides, but she pushes back and goes, I don't know why they keep saying what they're saying. You know why. They were at your house when they were in the video when her leg was on him. So you knew what was happening. You played in that woman's face. So yes, the victim is Akira because she didn't ask for this. She didn't ask for this. Y'all just kept piling it on her because she didn't know how to fight back. Is that a problem? Is it? We'll talk about that another time. I'm not going at it today. She's not perfect either. Devin isn't either, but I'm not going at her. Because at some point, when you don't know how to fight, other people take. And when other people take and you don't know how to fight, you acquiesce. And when you acquiesce enough, nobody fears you. But they didn't count on y'all, and they didn't count on court. They controlled the narrative very well. Very well. That's what aggression does. If I am aggressive enough, you back away. If you guys who own dogs, help me out. If you're aggressive to your puppy, I don't care how big he is. Don't they give in? Don't they lower their heads? Even when they start to bark and they're going to give it back to you and you go, I'm the alpha in this house. What happens to the dog? Dog eases back. Dog realizes you're in control. Dog doesn't even realize I'm bigger than you. I could bite you and kill you, unalive you. I hate the fact that I can't use real language on this stupid thing. Anyway, before I get myself banned, let me calm down. This is why you don't see me go live. I hate that I got to change my language to fit some. Anyway, it's another thing. Anyway, but you see it in an animal because a dog's brain is about this big. But how does that look in a human? You know what it looks like? My husband can have whatever he wants, even if he's disrespectful to me. My husband can let his hoe come live in my house as long as he loves me. We saw that in Color Purple. God bless you, girl. Not too many people allow their hoe to come live in their house. So we've seen this before. Then came into the house and didn't want to go. Why? Because the fire started. Because the cat with the keys said, you don't have to go. And he took it as far as told the grandmother, whose name is on the lease, I don't care. She can stay. To the people who's helping you pay for this? Because he was allowed to. Akira let him. Now, again, she is the victim, but there are some red flags connected to what she does too. Yeah, even when you push Granny. Even when she pushed Granny. Tim still said, it's okay, she can stay. So why'd you allow that? Devin, why'd you allow that? And again, we could talk about it, but all that feeds into him feeling gusto about himself. Okay, the family's name was on the lease. Thank you so much. Either way, they allowed him to stay, her to stay. No one got kicked out. They were still together. And then we learned from court that they still was talking even after he started messing with her. That is what happens in a victim situation. In a victim situation, sometimes you don't know how to separate yourself. That's why sometimes we yell and scream about this situation, but I don't know if we're looking at it from all of the sides. He is the villain because people allowed him to be. So why would he leave that? No one leaves a power position. Mm-mm. Nobody leaves a position where they're being fawned over, getting all the attention. He was getting it in court. He was getting it online. He's got a child that's star-studded in his eyes, just staring at him and can't move without getting his validation on a regular. She can't make food without his validation. She can't eat without his validation. She can't ride in a car without being validated by him. So they have a sickness where him as the king, okay, you may eat. You may go live and talk until I say get off. So let's go to number 3. You guys still with me? Thank you so much. He is completely to blame. Welcome aboard. This is where I'm at tonight. And this is why I also wanted, I can't say codependent, Chef, because we don't know what the dynamics are inside the home. Codependency looks a certain way, but not if he is the person in control and demanding everything. See, codependency is where the two of them would feed off of something. It's different if he's in control. And you see it in DV situations. In a DV situation, there's no codependency. You're going to do what I tell you to do, or I'm going to hurt you. And the pain becomes the thing that causes a person to fold. I don't know what he's saying. Do I believe that there could be DV? Do I believe the DV may take on a different look and not just physically with my hands, but with my voice and my face because I'm bigger than both of y'all? Yes. We even saw it with Devin until we saw court. That picture with Devin is standing there looking at him, notice he didn't want to make eye contact. Notice that when Jody bumped him in court, he turned around, but he didn't really want it. I told you before, soft dude, know he's soft. But he's got to flare up. He's got to push his chest out. He's got to beat on it to hope you get scared. And the minute you go, do something, folds up. Same thing like your puppy at home. Puppy is barking like he's going to bite everybody in the world till you go, bite me. I was just joking, dog. I wasn't going to bite you. All I had was his bark. Okay, so let's go to number 3. And again, thank you tonight. Thank you tonight. Thank you for tonight, hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the attention. Thank you for everything. I appreciate you. Like I said, I don't go live that often because I don't like being in the trick bag where I got to pay attention to how I speak and all of that, whatever. But I'm on tonight. And I'll answer all your questions when we get through to number 6. So again, thank you for writing these down. Let's get to number 3. All right. And you guys have already said you're ready. So here we go. All right. This one is disorganized attachment. Again, add that to the list for you guys that are my makeshift mods tonight. Thank you. And you, thank you. I appreciate you. This is disorganized attachment. Add that to the list. That's number 3. Disorganized attachment. That's number 3. Please add that to the list. I'll move on when I see it because I want to. Oh, there we go. I want to make sure everybody got it. So if you go back through the chat, you'll be able to get it. There we go. Who is that right there? It's me. Thank you. It's me is on point tonight. Thank you for building the list for me. Y'all follow It's Me. She has the list or he has the list. Again, I don't want to assume anything about anybody. Okay, disorganized attachment. What is it? Raised in a turbulent or overly protective environment, the man may associate a woman's love with a lack of boundaries. When his romance partners or female family members try to establish reasonable expectations, he may panic or act aggressive, a classic trait of a disorganized attachment style. Does that sound familiar? Again, what I'm giving you is what you've seen. And I'm hoping that all you guys that are on T pages and everything else start using the right verbiage. Please stop using the one thing that you guys know. He's narcissist. It's one thing. He could be many things. And that's the reason why you got to say I'm speculating. Some of y'all talk as if y'all know. Can I reread that? I got you. Give me a second. You can't act as if you know a person that you've never met and you have no background information other than what you see on social media. And I get it. I get it. It makes money. It makes for great conversation. Y'all go in deep, tearing this child down. But you know it's all speculation, right? Which means y'all are making up most of the stuff you're talking about because you don't know. And I'm not trying to step on anybody's foot, but it's the truth. Unless you can tell me you sat with her to go, Keith, no, I've met with her and this is what it is. Really? Based on what? When I've just given you 2 or 3 that I know you don't know. But you were asking me to read it again. I'll read it again. Disorganized attachment. Raised in a turbulent or overly protective environment, the man may associate a woman's love with a lack of boundaries. When his romantic partners or female family members try to establish reasonable expectations, he may panic or act aggressively, a classic trait of disorganized attachment style. Using the word narcissist can be overused as so. Oh yeah, listen, it's everybody says it, and they say it because it's what they hear and they're repeating. It's called parrot syndrome. A parrot is not talking; it's repeating words that it heard. It does not talk. It's just repeating. It's called parrot syndrome or something along those lines, where you're repeating what the parrot is repeating what it heard. It doesn't talk, and a lot of that goes on social media, and then we build communities around the speculation because it's salacious. Salaciousness creates attention. People love drama. And it's hard to detach from drama once you sink your teeth into it. That's why some of the number 1 rated shows are the ones that have to deal with violence or drama or sex and all that because it's salacious. And it feeds the negative parts of us. And people love that, especially when they don't have to pay nothing, when they don't have to give nothing up. They love watching other people get hurt. And then when you call them on it, they go, no, I'm not really into that. Okay, so you say. But the content doesn't say that. Your attentions don't say that. Your words towards a person you know don't say that. And here's the crazy part. And again, I'm not defending Brenay. She deserved what she put out there. She asked for this. She just didn't know it was coming like this. When she goes, I could say anything and y'all gonna find something wrong. She 100% right. She could come on and say, I lost 100 pounds. You're gonna say, shh, I don't care you fat. I don't care if you lose 200. F you. And she right. But she asked for this. So she got to eat that. You don't ask for crap and then get mad when you serve crap. You don't. Hello. And then once people get paid for serving the crap, ooh, it's coming hot and heavy. It's coming hot and heavy. Thank you. Once people see their checks, once they see that TikTok will keep rewarding them for the crap, Oh Lord, it's coming. It's coming in flavors. It's coming with music. It's coming with dances. It's coming. And if every time she turned that phone on, I don't care which app she's on, they follow her. Oh, you not getting no rest. But you know what? She asked for this because you thought it was sexy to bully a woman that wasn't going to fight you back. You thought it was sexy to say, I make her feel uncomfortable. You thought that was sexy. You thought you ate with that, as the young folks say. Well, then the other folks who have been bullied in their life, the other people who had themselves cheated on, the other people who know what a mean girl looks like, oh, you activated them something awful and you didn't know what you activated. Triggers come in all fashions. And when she hit some of those triggers, and then I think when she said, that's the problem with black women, they don't stick together, I just shook my head. I said, no, you did not go there. Because now you activated the senior women to the table. How dare you criticize black women for what you did? And then when people go, how come she just don't turn off this camera? You don't really want that. You don't want her to turn that off. Mm-mm. You don't want her to stop. So she in a trick bag. It is called a catch 22. She can't win if she turns it off because she makes no money. And if she leaves it on, she's getting pounded. Yeah, colorism too. Mom's yelling about colorism. Mom's talking about the Lord, but not justifying, and then covering herself by saying, I can't tell my girls what to do. Yes, you can. I'm doing it right now. They grown. Yeah, but if they make a mistake, tell them. Turn it off. You made sure Kayla got off real quick, didn't you? Sometimes you got to watch the way people move. It don't match what they say. You told one, get off, but you don't tell the other two. Why? Because you're worried. Do you think she's? I'll answer all questions at the end. Are y'all ready for number 4? Now this is the one y'all love to talk. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Are y'all ready for number 4? Please tell me y'all ready, and we're gonna go on to number 4. This is the one. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If y'all are ready for number 4, put up. I'm ready for number 4. There we go. Thank you. Keep going. There we go. Okay. This is the one that y'all love to talk about. So of course I had to add it to the list. Narcissist personality disorder. Narcissist personality disorder, NPD. Number 4. Please add that to the list. Somebody put it on the screen for me so I know that you got it. Narcissist personality disorder, NPD. Please put that in the chat, somebody, so we can keep this going because I want to make sure everybody has the list when you go back to review this or when you go back to look at it. Please put that in the list because this is the one. Thank you so much. I want to pin that. Let me try to start pinning some of this stuff here. All right, let me pin that comment. There we go. Thank you, it's me. So now it's pinned, so you see where we are with everything. Now, this condition is categorized by a deep need for excessive attention, a lack of empathy, or grandiosity. Men with MPD often exhibit covert and malignant narcissism, combined entitlement with volatile, aggressive, and manipulative behavior, particularly towards women closest to them. Now, we have seen that. That's why I said I'm not saying you're 100% wrong, but you can't try to squeeze everything into a narcissistic box. But I will read it again because we have definitely seen this. And a person can be suffering from multiple disorders at the same time. I do want you to understand that too. It's another reason why I tell you to be careful what you're saying. You know, I hear so many people say, you can't tell me nothing because I know. And I shake my head and I go, you only know what you've experienced. And just because you've experienced don't mean that the people you are talking about or the people you're talking to have experienced the same. And as the young folks say today, you just chatting. And I get it. Chatting makes money. It does. But narcissist personality disorder, NPD, the condition is characterized by a deep need for excessive attention or a lack of empathy and a grandiosity. Men with NPD often exhibit covert or malignant narcissism, combining entitlement with volatile, aggressive, and manipulative behaviors, particularly towards women closest to them. I think we've seen this. We've definitely seen this in the way he treated his ex-wife. And I want to say this the right way. it really deters the. It really pisses me off. I'm trying to be polite because I'm not trying to get the live shut down. But it really bothers me when I see a man go in on his ex, and it definitely bothers me when I see a husband going on his ex-wife. Why? If you didn't fix it when you were with her, why would you crap on her after it's over? And then you're going to turn around and go at her with somebody that you brought into your house and called auntie around your children. And all of you, and I want all of you to understand this. I want you to all understand this because you are 100% right when y'all say these kids are going to have issues that they may have to deal with. Now we don't know what it may be. Kids are resilient. And thank you for the hearts. Kids are resilient, but the confusion is something you should never do. Please, in your own lives, don't confuse children. How do you go from auntie to mommy without an explanation with mommy there? You can't do that to a child. You can't confuse a child because here's what's going to happen. So please listen to me. The child will not tell you anything. The child doesn't want to make you angry. They're not going to come and tell you, mommy, daddy, I'm confused, especially if you have not shown yourself to be able to handle situations. So the child is quiet. I spent 24 years in the New York City school system. I knew when children were struggling with their emotions. And then you peel back the banana and realize this kid is going through something bad at home. Thank you so much for the roses. Thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. And that's the danger. The kid starts to go, so this is normal that auntie is now mommy? Okay, so then how could you argue if later on they go out and do the same thing? You also open the kids up to be SA'd because now a family member may say, oh no, this is normal. I want to ask all of you in the chat before I get to number 5. How many of you have had someone in your family touch you in a way they weren't supposed to? Please do not out yourself and give any names. Just say, I know someone. Don't say me. Just say, I know someone. If you know someone, could be you. Don't worry, I'll go back over all 4 in a little bit. Actually, it was pinned. I don't know what happened to it. If you know someone, even if it was you, just put I know someone who was touched by someone who wasn't supposed to touch you. And that is what they're opening up them children for. When children get confused, they look for answers anywhere. That is what predators wait on. They wait on a child who looks confused, who looks depressed, who looks like they're going through something. And then they come up as the individual who can fix it. They come up as the person who goes, what's the matter? Oh, your parents are not doing this, not doing that. I'll help you. I'll show you something. And then we realize when we peel back the onion that the reason why they're so confused is because you took them from calling you auntie to hanging in the house with my parents to now being my parent. And you think that that's okay? Could never be. You always must set your situation up before you change a child's personal environment. Their environment is where they feel safe, where they're protected. Pierce that bubble and you open up your children to very dangerous psychological issues. And this is what I'm talking about here as we get ready to move on. These are the psychological issues that I'm talking about. And I'm not attacking anyone. I'm just giving you ideas of what I see because I get tired of hearing the same thing. And again, if I've stepped on anybody's toes, I apologize. If anything that I say is hitting home, go see a therapist. I only have, I think, 1 or 2 openings. Actually, I don't think I even have that anymore. But I'm here for consultations. I'm here if you need to answer a question or 2. Yeah, I'm a professional. Yes, you got to pay me a fee. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's what I do for a living. But I will gladly answer 1 or 2 questions. Just don't try to turn it into a counseling session or a consulting session in the inbox. I'll answer a question or 2. I'll answer them tonight as soon as we get finished this list here. Okay? All right. Y'all ready for number 5 and number 6? So we're going to go to number 5 first. If you're ready, put I'm ready in the chat or put a number 5 in the chat to let me know that you're with me. Thank you for all of you that have been giving the gifts. Thank you so much for the hearts on the side. Keep them going. Let's go. I appreciate you. Thank you. I love that. That's come up a few times. I like that. There we go. Keep it going. Let's go. All right, y'all with me tonight. What we got? 82 people in here? Let's go. Thank you. Y'all are ready. Okay, and I'm going to go over all of them. So if you got here late, I will go back over them. So here's number 5. And if you've heard it, cool. But if not, number 5 is the mother wound. The mother wound. WOUND. The mother wound. The mother wound, this psychological term, refers to deep-seated realization. I'm sorry. The mother's wound. This psychological term refers to deep-seated relational trauma or unresolved issues resulting from childhood attachment with a mom. A hyper-controlling or overprotective mother can lead to a man developing deeply ingrained insecurity. He may subconsciously resent his dependency on the woman while feeling threatened or hostile when the woman doesn't cater to his needs. We can't go to the football game. I can't go fishing. Look at what you see. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Again, I am trying to provide context to what I see in these videos. And it is important because, again, I am trying to give all of you something of options so we can stop saying the same thing, or we can stop acting as if we know everything about these two when we do not. Thank you so much for the gifts. And thank you so much for the hearts. Like I said, and I'm going to keep saying it, I don't care if I sound like a broken record. We got to stop acting as if we know what's going on when we don't. Just talk about what you see. I talk about this a lot in private. Just talk about what you see. You don't like it, say it. We saw things and couldn't out the words to it. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll answer your questions as soon as I'm done. We got one more, and then I'll gladly answer your questions. I'll try to get to all of them if I can. And I bring all these up because I want you to understand that this is why therapy is needed. A therapist has to do their research. They feed into this and possibly other computer systems. What could this be? DSM-5 is a very thick book of disorders that we have to go through and try to figure out, what is this? And how do I treat this? And how do I help them get healed? I can't heal anything until I figure out what it is that they're dealing with. That's how I know Brother Tim is the villain, because he holds all the keys. But I'll get into that in a second. All right, here we go. And again, thank you for hanging out with me. I do appreciate you. And thank you for all the compliments. I appreciate it. And if I missed any, I apologize. I'm not doing this. Listen, y'all know I'm not a regular on live. I'm not as polished as I can be in this arena. I'm polished. Don't get it wrong. Yes, I'm borderline arrogant at times. But this live thing, I'm not, because I do not like an algorithm that tells me how to speak or tells me what I cannot say, even if it's professional. I got a problem with that. That's why you don't see me go live. It's also why I get on lives and then I get off. As soon as the drama starts, I'm out. And the reason why I don't go live more is because I don't like having to try to think about words that I don't use. Unalived is not a word. It is a word in the English language, but it's not a word that I use. I use actually what it is, the esua, you know, it is I. And the reason why is because that's a real word. You go to a hospital and say, I try to unalive myself. It does not hold the weight of when you say, I had this type of ideation. There's actually medical and legal terms, because that means you created an opportunity to take yourself out. But when we start playing with these words, and some of y'all say it so much, y'all have brought it to your own personal livelihood and vernacular. The minute that you change the way people speak, you change the way they think. And I refuse to allow any of these social media sites change the way I think, because then I am a slave. And I'll be damned if I'm anybody's slave. That's just me. Do what you do online. I will not. And I don't care who doesn't like it. My daughter says all the time, Daddy, how come you don't care if people don't like you? Who gives a if they don't like me? The question is, do they know me? If you know me, you probably do like me. Are there people that don't like me who know me? Of course there are. Do I worry about it? Not at all. Most of the people who don't like me can't beat me. If we just go keep it a buck. And you not liking me does what? Actually, you not, and I tell my daughter this all the time, she's 12. You got to love when they don't like you. She said, why? Because most time they leave you the hell alone. Most people don't like you, don't come at you, especially if you're about yours. Oh, they'll come at you if you're soft. They'll come at you if they think they can rough you off. They won't come at you if you're an adequate combatant, and I am intellectually and physically. But I don't put these hands on nobody. That's what money's for. I'm losing everything I have over some social media beef. Are you crazy? There's crackheads I can give money to and make you disappear, please. Still from New York. I live in Delaware, but I'm still from New York. You be surprised what $50 and a Subway sandwich will do if I got your address. Paperwork. I ain't no paperwork. Come here, Sammy. Yeah, go get a nickel bag and come back. I got you. And there's more where that came from. Anyway, let me stop giving away trade secrets. I used to tell that to students. You don't want it with me. They'd be like, what? You don't want it with me. Watch your mouth. Do you know your blue card is in the office? So, do you know what I could do with your blue card if I walked up the block and gave it to somebody with $50? Bro, you wouldn't even see it coming. And I'll still be sitting here in my office singing songs as you getting it. Did you hear what happened to Jay? Really? That bad? Oh, we should have kept his mouth shut. Anyway, let's go. Let's go to number 6. All right, let's go to number 6. If you guys are ready for number 6, and don't mind me, like I said, I'm on vacation. If you're ready for number 6, put a 6 in the chat, or I am ready, and I will gladly finish number 6 for you. All right, and I will go back over the list. I will not read them all. I'll just read you the titles. You take it from where you want to take it. Thank you so much. Y'all guys are ready. All right, here's number 6. Parental overindulgence. Parental overindulgence. Parental overindulgence also refers to as over-pampering. This occurs when caregivers cater to every whim of the child, failing to establish boundaries or enforce consequences. This upbringing can foster a severe sense of entitlement and low frustration tolerance, leading to anger and aggression outbursts when adults are denied what they want. Hmm. Hmm. Parental overindulgence. Now, y'all are seeing how when you now hear what I'm saying and match it to the different videos that you've seen, that we're not sure which of these disorders he may be going through, if not multiple ones. And I say that because I want you to see this from different angles. Oh, definitely. All of our parents are our first uplifters or detractors. All of our parents have either protected us from trauma or caused the trauma. All of our parents. We either were in trauma at an early age or we were protected from it by our parents. All of us. Our first protection from trauma came from whoever raised you. Your first likelihood of trauma came from whoever raised you or wherever you were raised. And then over time, that became something. Those seeds were planted long before you knew what they were. And some of y'all are still living off of the trees that have grown from the seeds that your parents created. So the reason why you dislike men the way you do is because your dad did what he did or your mom did what she did. The reason why you act that way with women is because your mom did what she did and your dad did or didn't do whatever. The reason why you're so comfortable and so strong is because your parents put up boundaries and protected you from people that would hurt you until you grew into a position to go, Mom, I got this. It all starts at home. And some of you don't even realize that you're on autopilot with certain things. So when your relationships are failing, you think it's the men that you've met. You think it's the women that you met. It's you. And it's you because you don't know how to actually reshape what you see based on what you feel, based on how you were taught to be that way. I'm no miracle worker. I just read a lot of books. And I work with a lot of people. And some things are easy to see. Not easy to fix, though. Easy to see. Really is. Once you know what to look for, oh, it's easy to see, but it's damn hard to fix. And some things, sadly, can't be fixed. Now, I know I said everything can be fixed, but some things cannot because I can't do it by myself. I need the person to climb into the vat of poop and decide to work themselves out from the bottom and wait for me to help at the top. But you got to climb down into that. And a lot of people don't. That's why a lot of people don't get help. Can it also show generational trauma? Yes. And let's take generational trauma off the table, generational DNA. Most of us were born into traumatic situations because of the DNA passed on from our parents because of the trauma that they went through, and the DNA kept being passed, which is the generational curses that we hear, but it's not curses. Read the book Grandma's Hands. The book Grandma's Hands is a fantastic book that talks about the generational DNA. Many of us of color are still suffering from the generational DNA that happened during slavery. Mm-hmm. It's why we're so accommodating to people that don't look like us. It's why we're so harsh to people who do look like us. And when I say us, I mean people of my melanin hue compared to those that don't have the melanin hue. You are, some of you, very forgiving to people that don't look like me and harsh to people who do look like me. And you don't know where that comes from? Well, it's the generational DNA passed on from slavery. Mm-hmm. We don't want to address it. We don't want to talk about it, but it's there. You don't go through something for almost 600 years and we've only been free from the bondage 100 and change, and then you add another 100 and change to Jim Crow and think that this is going to change. What about your sister possible having his child's children? Of course, that's there too. We don't know. We know that there was something going on. We know that they possibly was getting it in. To what degree? From what we have come to learn, they were together after he was with her in high school. He got with the sister, possibly created children. We don't know. We don't know. Let's be honest. We think, but we don't know. Then she got back with him and now they're together. Those kids could be. Here's where they made the biggest mistake with that. And I'm gonna get to number 6 and actually there's number 7. I got one more for you. The fact that neither one of them of the three emphatically say, I never slept with him. I never slept with her. All of it is lies. They say it so casually, we know they're lying. Also, the twins. He is not the dad. What if he was? Would he be a good dad? He is not the dad. I didn't sleep with him. Ladies, I'm going to speak to just the ladies now. Fellas, slide over to the second. Let the ladies have this question. Ladies, if a man you've never slept with lied on his peen and said he slept with you, you rocking with that? Put hell no in the chat or I wouldn't bother. Tell me what you think in the chat real quick. Ladies, if a man lied on his peen and said he humped you, you rocking with that? Now, fellas, I need you to slide back over again. Come on. If a woman said, these kids are yours, you rocking with that? Fellas, in the chat if there's any brothers in here. Women say, these children are yours. You rocking with that? You letting somebody place babies on you, as they say in the streets? Ain't nobody put no baby on me. Like your stickers. Don't put a baby on me. Don't lay down with a woman and have it, bro. Stop. Just the language sometimes. I listen to language. And sometimes the dumbest things I've ever heard, let's go half on a baby. What? Let's not make love. Let's not have sex. Let's not do nothing that creates a baby. We don't have those conversations, right? Thank you. Ain't no man or woman on this planet allowing somebody to lie about being in between when they didn't, especially when children are involved. But when you're so casual and you drop little hints and the little things, and here's what they can't control, and I find it funny, is when the children do children-like things. Who's dad? Oh, your daddy. Your daddy? Not my daddy. The kid was like, that's your daddy? That's not my daddy. See, the one thing you cannot control is what a child may say. You can try to control what a child does. Don't get me wrong. You can't control what a child say. I think I fell out when the child looked right at the phone. Who's daddy that? Now my daddy. I was like, see, and this is what we got. So all of us watching going, leave that child alone. The child telling the truth. And now you want us to believe that that child just making stuff up? Or the best one is, I have to spell his name because if my kids hear his name, they react. Why? Why do they? And how do they know his name if y'all not sharing it? Come on. Kids just ain't out here randomly yelling people's names for no reason. Some things are just too funny. I, I realize I got 7. Y'all ready for the last one? And I'll run back over the list. And again, I'm sorry. Let me just reintroduce myself. My name is Mr. Keith. I am a therapist who works out of a private practice in Southern Delaware. I'm also a retired educator of 24 years. I come on with the idea of trying to create content connected to self improvement, relationships, and of course, mental health. I do this on a regular basis. I decided to step not all the way into this rabbit hole, but I decided to step at the front of this cave to offer my thoughts on what I see. As you have seen earlier, I did offer Tim the opportunity to have a conversation with me because I do want to help. Yeah, I'm joking and clowning now. And the reason why is because to me, this is not going to change until somebody in the camp steps up and says, let's fix this. Let's do number 7 because I just saw the 7 come up. Let me finish the 7. I'll gladly answer your questions. So if you're ready for number 7, put number 7 in the chat. And hey, Chef, how we doing? Thank you so much for the interaction on my page. Put your 7s in the chat or put your I'm ready's in the chat and I will give you the last one. This is a bonus one actually because I thought I had 6. I actually have 7. And again, I'm on vacation. This is why I got time today. And also, I wanted you guys to get to know me other than just my videos that I put in where I'm in control. I wanted you to be able to see this is what I do. This is who I am. I'm this way all the time. I'm me. I can't be anything else. And that's why I will not conform to social media and be somebody else. Okay, you guys put the 7 in the chat. This one is called Irritable Male Syndrome. Number 7, Irritable Male Syndrome, IMS. I'm from South Jamaica, Queens, 40 projects, and lived in Brooklyn, Canarsie, Flatbush, stand up. Born at Queens General Hospital, Wednesday, December 20th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I am from one of the worst projects in the world. IMS, not IBS, not irritable bowel syndrome. We're not talking about the man's bowels. We're not doing that. We're talking about IMS, Chef. We're not talking about the man's bowels. I'm not that type of doctor. IMS. This condition is sometimes used to describe mood fluctuations, hyperactivity, and aggression in men, often triggered by stress, frustration, or fluctuating hormone levels. Yeah, men go through hormone issues too. And it causes, he's about, if you feel that way, I can't argue with you. I can't fight you. Yeah, y'all see, y'all trying to change the man into something. Whatever y'all think he is, he's sassy for sure. Again, not my call. If he is, there are some things that I have seen that kind of make me wonder why he took on that persona. But younger men or adults, it all depends. Depends on how deep rooted the disorder is. But yes, IMS, irritable male syndrome. Okay. Now, before I answer your questions, and so go back, write your questions down if you've been holding on to my last. Let me just run through the list real quick. If it's me, I think it is. If you have the list, you can just drop it in the chat if you like. I'm gonna that's like YMCA. All right, let me go through this list real quick. If you have all 7, you can put it up in the chat for me for everybody that might have just checked in. Thank you to all 77 of you here. So number 1 was Gold Child Syndrome. Number 2 was Mother-Son Enmeshment. Number 3, Disorganized Attachment. Number 4, Narcissist Personality Disorder, NPD. Number 5, the mother wound. The mother wound. Number 5. Number 6, parental overindulgence. Parental overindulgence. And the last one, which y'all keep trying to change, irritable male syndrome, IMS. Okay, that is all 7. I've given you 7 different types of personality or things that could be going on when Brother Tim takes to the camera. So please, now that I've given it to you, Please stay away from just calling the man a narcissist. I mean, it might be, I don't know, but it doesn't fit. And again, anybody that knows him, get my offer over to him. And Tim, let me just say this: if you ever happen to see this or you pop in, I'm gonna be very serious right now. Tim, I made that offer because when I was younger, I was on my way to jail. But it was some of the men around me from playing sports and just whatever that stepped in to help me to keep me from ending up in places that I really didn't want to be. And I was smart enough to listen to the women around me, but I was very close many a night. Good evening. Have a good night. I was very close to some bad things happening, and some people reached out to me that I didn't expect to. And I have my whole life helped since I changed my life around 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago. I have been a person that's been helping young men find themselves for years. Anybody that know me know Mr. B. I've been in school with God knows almost 30,000 kids in the 20 something, 24 years that I've been there. I've been doing this for a while. So I know how to help people. What I can't is help someone who doesn't allow me to. And I don't fight you for help. I don't throw a life preserver out to you and you throw it back to me. And then I go, no, 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 you should take it. I take it and go give it to somebody else. And when I come back, if you're not there and you're gone, you did it to yourself. I looked at this situation with you and Brenay and realized, son, you don't have men in your life. Yeah, you don't pay the child support. You're not even trying to make amends for what you did. And then you crapped on your wife. That's what really made me stop and think you need some help. You disrespected your wife in ways that a husband is not supposed to. And for what? You already have the next woman. A man doesn't get the next woman and then go back and beat on the woman that he was with before verbally. That's petty. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to be, damn political correctness. That's what bitches do. Pardon my language. I'm going to be unprofessional for a second. I was raised by women. I wasn't raised by bitches. And when a man goes out and acts like that towards women that you said I do to, bruh, you don't do that when she's the mother of your children. You don't pour that type of negativity into a woman that can then turn it into your children. Because then you wonder why your children are out here hating men because of what you did to their mom. And I know you may not realize it because the men in your life haven't stopped you. Actually, if you listen, Grandpa told you she gets to keep the name. That should tell you everything that you need to know. He didn't rock with your wife. He rocked with your ex-wife. And Grandpa made it clear, that's my name. It got our blood on it. She can use it. He didn't say that about your wife. That should tell you everything you need to know. Your mom flip-flopping. One minute she's congratulating Akira, next minute she's crapping on her. Why? Money. But you're the key, bro. And I want to have that conversation with you. You can come at me if you like. You want to do a bunch of videos. Who this fat dude talk? He don't know me. I don't. But I know chick-like behavior from a dude. I know a dude who needs help. I know a dude who's never actually sat across from a real man who said, I'll help you, other than your father and your grandfather. And they don't seem to be there. And I'm not just doing it for you. I'm doing it for your kids. And believe it or not, I'm doing it for Brenay. I know some of y'all not going to like that because I'm a believer in marriage. And I believe if the two of you would just own all your trash, own it, take the whipping and start all over, you might be able to do something in the next 30 years. Maybe. Not the way you're going now. You can't stand up against feeling. You can't stand up against negative feeling. It's like a wave of heat. The more you stand there, the more you'll burn, man. I made my offer. It's an open offer. It won't go away. At any time that you want to hit my inbox and say, Mr. Keith, I want to talk. Let's go. And nobody has to know. Unless you want to bring it to social media, I will never. I'm a professional. It's not what I do. And no matter what I said tonight about what you could be, I'm still here to help you because I'm a man of God more than anything else. Because you have the power to fix this with everybody involved, whether you believe it or not. And I'll show you. Next step is yours, young man. It's on you. Understand. Read Matthew 18, I think it is, what God said about somebody who causes children to stumble. Or in somebody's Bible, it says, cause a child to sin. He said, you're better off wrapping a millstone around your neck and toss it into the ocean. Show me where else in the Bible God said you're better off unaliving yourself than doing that. Now, he did say the wages of sin is death, but he didn't say to anybody else, you do that, or you better off offing yourself. Ask yourself why he said that. Why would Jesus say that? Why would the Savior say you better off offing yourself than causing a child to sin? And you cause them to be confused? Bruh, I don't want that smoke, and I'm trying to help you. All right, guys, if y'all have any questions, come on. Come on. I will gladly answer your questions. Come on, I got you. I'm going to go probably another half an hour, maybe a little bit longer. What are your thoughts on HPD being on your list? Let me just double check. Want to make sure I'm getting this correct. It could be on the list. Listen, hold on one second. I want to make sure I'm reading what that is correctly. I don't like to speak on something that I don't have all the answers to. Hold on one second. HPD. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. All right, hold on one second. I want to look it up first because the one thing I do not do is talk out my butt. HPD disorder. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got here. Histrionic personality disorder, which I knew, but I want to see, is a cluster B condition characterized by a persuasive pattern of excessive emotion and attention seeking. Key symptoms include overwhelming need to be the center of attention, rapidly shifting emotion, overly dramatic behavior, inappropriate sexually or provocative content, and a tendency to view relationships are more intimate than they actually are. I don't see that as much with him, because he's not really trying to be the center of attention. He's just enjoying what he's getting. And he doesn't have over dramatic behavior. She does. He actually just is along for the ride because he's benefiting. I don't see that in him. So that's just my thought. It could be, again, all this is speculation at best. Why do you think Tim doesn't put Brenay in her place? Because he doesn't know how. He don't know how. He's been being taken care of by women his whole life. He doesn't know how to do that. You can't do what you don't know how to do. Oh, it's meant for her. I'm not talking Brenay tonight like that. I'm not going to analyze what she is tonight because it would take too long and it opens up a hornet's nest that I am not in the mood to do. So it could be, but I believe with her, and I've said this before, I believe she's been abused in ways y'all not giving her credit for. And her reaction and her position in life is from that abuse. And I think that young lady has suffered some abuse that many of y'all can't see. And it's what is creating a lot of her behavior. If you look at her rapid eye movements, if you look at how she moves, and you look at the fact that she's always looking around her, I believe that there's more going on than you realize. And you cannot look at the mom and not tell me something happened with those kids. And I'll say this and I'll keep saying it. When she said, the dude who was dating my mom made me have to basically jump through hoops to eat, she then said, you know what else you did? Those are two different things. She was already talking about the food. So why would she say, you know what you did? Sometimes a person is giving you things that they're not showing you. And I believe that the trauma that she has faced is deeper than a lot of us think. I've seen struggles worse than Tim and Kid. It doesn't grow up to be a such user. Why is he like that? No way of knowing without having all the information. And you can't compare one situation to another. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody has had different resources, different support systems. Also, not everything is the same, even though it looks the same. Then her mom sent her away. And when you break twins up, it creates a problem between the twins. No one is taking into account the twin part. Twins have and I told you, look up twinning. Look up the relationship that twins have. When you break up twins, it is very detrimental to them. You need to pay attention to that too. When you remove twins, also what you're not looking at, if she, if she had an AB when she was younger, and then her sister was allowed to keep her children, what do you think that did to her? You got to take it all into consideration. But again, I'm trying to stick to Brother Tim tonight. I could go in on Brenay for hours because there's a lot more than y'all are giving her credit for. But I understand she asked for it. Tim's sexuality is questionable too. Nah, I think a lot of that is when you've been raised by women, you're going to have certain aspects of yourself that seem feminine. Don't necessarily believe it because every woman around him he's been having sex with. Now, whether he's hiding something, he could be, but I don't see it. I just think some of the feminine behavior is because he grew up with a lot of women who was fostering him, and you take on the personality of a lot of people that you were raised with. That's just how I feel about that. What do you think it was so easy for him to disrespect Devin? Because he doesn't fear Devin. He fears the Devin now, so he has to bark. But Devin has become more than he's ever seen, so he's very careful because you notice he didn't say all of that in court. And also, I think he has to say whatever with Devin. I don't necessarily know if he would say that to Devin in person. Also, the Devin that you have now is not the Devin of before, and I'm not sure how he would respond to that. And Devin actually gives off that he would love for him to say something negative and he would check him. So I think you kind of see a difference where I think it's a lot of bark and no bite. To my knowledge, he lived with dad. He may have. That doesn't mean that he developed what he needed with dad because where's dad been? And look at what grandfather said. So we don't know. I just look at the reaction with him and mom, and then his reaction to him and sister, his reaction to him and Brenay, and his actions or what was been said about him and Corinne. And I think it's the women around him who've had the major factor, not the men. Tim is ready. I hope so. I would love to talk to him because I would just like to answer whatever questions that he has about himself. Sometimes, sometimes help is in the form of listening. Yes, we talked about that. She didn't approve of high school, but he said dad never told him why. I don't believe that. I believe that's a lie. And I believe he doesn't want to say it because then it connects to everything that everybody's been saying about her. See, I think you got to look at the lack of information actually tells the greatest story. See, when I don't give reasoning to something, there's a reason for that. And it's the omission that is actually telling the greatest story, not the things that they show us. They want us to see that. It is the omission, it is the body language, it is the eye movements, it is the way they interact with each other. None of that looks loving, it looks forced because you cannot create happiness when it is not there at the center. I don't think he wants to change. He keeps, oh no, he does keep benefiting with. But we don't know if he doesn't want to change because he may not know how. That is where the conversation with him would be beneficial to him. Because in having a conversation, there's things I can ask him that would open the door to him possibly changing because you only know what you know. I thought maybe that's why we don't know why dad is silent, but we just know dad is silent. Do you think Tim ruined his relationship with his children? At the moment, yes, but it can be fixed. Kids are more forgiving than adults. And he can turn this around and his children will accept it. And some of y'all know that. Some of y'all dads were horrible. And as soon as they figured it out, you were okay with it. Children are even more accessible if he does it correctly. Now, he can't keep playing with their minds because at some point, children will disconnect and never reconnect. Actually, as they get older, he risks that. Just stop and think what some of us have gone through, and myself included. There's a cutoff point, a point of no return where the kids will be like, nope. That picture Brenay keeps showing is Corinne. I don't know. Oh, I ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Where are these holy men and his family, the dad and grandfather? They need to jack him up. We don't know that they didn't. We don't know what they've said to him, and we don't know what he's refused to accept from them. That's why I said we have to stop speculating because we don't know if they didn't. They may have, and he may have just made bad decisions. And sometimes we have to understand that people will make decisions based on what they want, even when the adults around them say, yo, they shouldn't. You don't think Akira's family said leave him alone at some points, but yet she still was contacting him? It happens. You don't think Devin's mom said, yo, leave Brenay alone, and he might have still continued? We don't know. How can he bring himself to be with her when he seemed to look at her with disgust sometimes? Because sex is a powerful weapon, and so is money. And when somebody does things to you sexually, come on now. We haven't seen people do things for sex even though they know it's wrong. Come on. That speaks for itself. Do you think Tim is regretful? I think in his heart of hearts he is, but who's he going to say it to? Who's he going to tell? Do you think he meant it when he said he never loved Akira? Possibly. He might not have known what love was, and he might have, that may be true that the whole time. I think that's a lie. I think that was said because, again, who he's with now. I think when you look at his pictures, he looks more happier with her, Akira, back then than he does with Brenay now. Tim has a bruised ego from a keeping moving on. Possibly. Yeah, he thought the door was going to be open to him. Hey, Ellie, I had to do this without you tonight. Thank you so much. Hey, love, how are you? That's my former moderator. Love her. Hey, Ellie. So I came back on live, Ellie. I'm sorry. I put it on early. I was going to be on tonight. Hugs to Ellie. But yeah, I think what happens is, first time here, have you heard of the Jacobson twins? They have a lot. You said, no, I haven't heard of them, but there's a lot out there on twins, so I haven't heard about those particular twins. Devin said that Brenay reached to him. She's trying to get back. Devin said that Brenay reached out to him. Yeah, of course she is, because he now is who she would have loved him to be then. And of course she would like to. He showed a general affection in the videos. We don't know what that is behind the scenes. Analyzing, okay, let me see here. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate it. Do you think that he speaks with his dad and granddad at all? I think so. Now, whether he listens to him, I don't know. I think he may. And again, and I wrote this down earlier. Sometimes older men will stay away because they think it makes them sound, and I wrote this down because I had a feeling somebody's going to bring this up. Let me just go through this. Hold on one second. I just don't get what makes Devin less of a man in her eyes, because Devin's softer spoken than Tim. Watch the two. There's a dynamic there. And in that dynamic, she got excited. I never looked at it that way. Okay. She got excited by the way Tim acts, not realizing that the way Devin treated her was better. But again, you don't know what you know. And if she's been abused, she may not know how to actually take honest attraction. How many women do we know have blown up great relationships? Come on now. Sometimes we're judging her on things we see every day from people in our own lives or things we've done. We've blown up good relationships from people who were great for us because we couldn't control ourselves. So it's not just Brenay. But I wrote this about men and possibly some of the men in Tim's life. They think it might make things worse if they get involved. They feel hopeless too because they don't believe it got to this point. Or they stay away because the communication is not open enough for them to actually have an effect. Some men ain't gonna get into something that they can't or don't know what to do. So we don't know. We know that the grandfather spoke up, and if the grandfather spoke up on social media, I think he's speaking up behind the scenes. We just don't know. She bought Tim's facade. I'll give you that. And I think she couldn't see it because, again, her abuse sees him one way. His ability to make things seem another way worked. And obviously something was working because we know from court, the text messages from Akira to Tim, she still was digging him. Why? So something that he was doing privately worked for them. And that's what we don't see, whether it was something sexual, whether it was something, whatever it was, but something he was doing, both of those women enjoyed and wanted him for whatever reason. We're only seeing what we see on social media. You don't know what was going on privately. You don't know what he was saying to him. You don't know what he was laying down in the bedroom. Everybody's criticizing him, but two women loved him or thought so. One thinks she loves him now, and one thought she loved him then. So obviously something was there. I feel like Brenay wants intensity. She mistakes intensity, possibly. And a lot of people who are hurting are going to think intensity is there. Listen, somebody brings the thunder in the bedroom. You got women who will give you their PIN number. And you got some men who will give you the PIN number if she puts it on them the right way. They don't care. You couldn't tell them that it's fake. I've never came that hard in my life. Here, take all my money. I've never felt nothing like that. Here, take all my money. Oh my God, she must love me. I've never had anybody feel me like that. Come on. We've all seen it. Some things you just got to take a deep breath and go, we've seen that in our own families, in our own mothers and fathers. She seems a little off. I believe so. I also believe that educationally, she wasn't where we think she was. I believe that. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to say something that may seem offensive. I think all four are not on the levels that you think they are. How with the behind wider than a dog? Y'all looking at that man's butt. I could care less what his butt looked like. Yeah. What do you think Tim thinks of himself after all this? Don't know. Can't call that. He may be in a constant state of lying to himself that he's demanding all this. Don't know. And maybe that's why he hugs his pew-pew so much, because it makes him feel even more of a man. I don't know. That I can't call. Can't tell you what somebody else thinks about themselves. What he shows is a man that is weak, but he hides it behind the appearance of strength. I don't see strength. I see weakness, and I see a person that's hurting as well. The cheating was fun and exciting, but now, oh, listen, the monogamy is simply because he doesn't have a choice. I don't think he wants to be monogamous because I think, like most people, when they cheat, the excitement of the cheating itself was the drug. But now he went way over the deep end and now can't get himself out. But he may even enjoy certain things, but I don't believe that. I just don't see happiness in the way they interact with each other. Do I think they have good times at times? Yes, some friends will be that way. Is it the marriage type stuff that I see? No. Because her taking care of him means that she is in control and she finally gets to do for somebody. But she had it with Devin. She just overplayed her hand. I agree. He never took out anything. You don't have to take a woman out who will accept pennies. Now, I'm gonna tell you, as a former cheater, some women were okay with me coming by late at night, dropping off what I dropped off, and going home because they were okay with the attention they got in small doses. Come on, don't act like y'all haven't seen this in men and women who will accept the littlest amount because it felt good, and they don't ask for anything more than that, and they don't question anything. Come on, we've all seen that. Some things is just not a Brenay Tim thing. Some things we've seen in the people, and sometimes we've been that ourselves. I find that interesting too. That so many people have these conversations about Brenay, but then they blow themselves. I've been there too, but not like that. But if you've been there, you've been there, which means you've done some of the same stupid things. So stop piling all this crap on her when some of y'all are in your video saying you've done it. You just didn't do it to her degree. But if you sinned, you sinned. So why are we trying to now balance which sin is which and which one? If you was hoeing, you was hoeing. If you was nasty, you was nasty. Own it. Stop piling it on her because you can. That's not a win. That's not even a flex. It is bullying, by the way. I just want you to understand that. It is bullying. She just don't know what to do with it. They're not happy the body language of it is. This is why he was so hands-on with his family before. Oh, yeah. Do you think he will end up cheating on her? I think he'll cheat if he's given the opportunity not to get caught. Could her actions have anything to do with her having bipolar? It could. Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely if she's bipolar. If she is. The question is she? A lot of people claim bipolar without understanding this. If she's never actually had the check on what's going on, then what do we got? He already cheated on her. I think emotionally, there's a lot of things that he's done emotionally. And when he was messing with Brenay, he was cheating. I mean, with Akira, he was cheating on her. As a narcissist abuse survivor, I see traits in both of them. Well, I just went through a whole list of what it could be. It could be. But you're surviving a narcissist doesn't mean that it matches what's going on here. No disrespect to your situation. And I'm glad that you survived that. First of all, God bless. But it doesn't mean it's the same here. That's why I just gave a list of 7 things that it could be, because without knowing, there's no way to say what it exactly is. I won't even say what I think it is, but I'm not going to say what I know it to be. I'm going to tell you what I think it is. And I gave 7 different things that it could be. He doesn't realize he's losing ambition behind on being captain. He is. But the question, did he have ambitions to begin with? Remember, he thought he was going to be a football player that was going to go to the next level. It didn't happen. We don't know how much that hurt. Can you go over the list again? Okay, sure. I will read that again. Hold on one second. Let me open up. Hold on one second. All right, here's the list of 7 things that I gave you tonight. I'm only going to go over the titles. You can look them up on your own. I'm not going to read them all. It'll take too long. Okay, here we go. First one was golden child syndrome. Number 2, mother-son enmeshment. Number 3, disorganized attachment. Number 4, y'all favorite, narcissist personality disorder, NPD. Number 5, the mother wound. Number 6, parental overindulgence. And number 7, which y'all had a ball with, irritable male syndrome, not IBS, IMS. There's 7 different disorders or styles of personalities that could be there. Thank you so much. I like those. Instead of just saying narcissism. A lot of times we yell narcissism because it's the only thing we know. No, and most people that claim narcissists have never been actually diagnosed with narcissism. It's because we choose it. Just like many of you say, I suffered depression without actually ever being diagnosed. You claimed it. when depression is one of the most dangerous things on the planet. Okay, you're in a bad place. Not necessary depression. Can that be pinned? Actually, it was. If anybody has the list, please put it up. For you guys that just came in, if anybody has all 7, please put them up. Or you have to come back and watch this when I post it. But that was the list of 7. And I created the 7 because I wanted folks to understand it's not what you think. There's so much more there, and there's so much more I did not go into. There's probably another 6 or 7 I probably could have created. I just didn't. And I don't go in on Brenay as much because, again, I believe the child has been abused. My ex was diagnosed with covert narcissism. Okay. I hope he gets the help that he needs. And that's the thing, is that once you have the diagnosis, that changes the game. Believe it or not, once I have an actual diagnosis, like I refer people to the psychologist because I want a psychologist to be able to let me know what they think, and then that allows me to dictate my next moves. I work hand in hand with the psychologist at my practice. We have our own psychologist, so I don't even have to refer out. And actually, It's Me has been putting this up tonight. Shout out to It's Me. So she just put all 7 up for you. I pinned 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to pin 4, 5, 6, and 7. So what did I do here? There we go. So there's all 7 for you. But again, let me just move this up here. I'm missing the rest of the questions. And again, I wanted to come on tonight. Again, I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to anybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate those. It's just, as a professional, I want to be able to have us have real dialogue, and everything can't just be piled on, because a lot of it is based on your own emotions about the situation. I'm not emotional about it. I don't know them. So they don't change my life in any way, but they have changed a lot of you guys' lives. Why? You're making money off of them. And at least admit that. I want to see people come on and tell the truth. Hey, I talk about this chick every day because I get paid. Okay, tell the truth. There's nothing wrong with it, but say it. Because the hate is being paid. But is it bullying? Yes. Does she deserve it? Yeah, she asked for it. They say be careful what you ask for. Now you say she asked to be bullied? No, she came on and tried to be mean girl to an internet that feeds off of that. She jumped in with meat wrapped around her in a piranha print. No, and then mad that the piranha started biting. You asked for this. You asked for this. And let me tell you something. The one video everybody can keep putting up, which will always blow up anything that she does with this rebrand and everything else, is when you simply play that video where she goes, I make her uncomfortable. And it was her attitude towards making Akira uncomfortable. Nobody likes a bully. I know, because I was a bully. When you are a bully, you're going to be alone. And once you're alone, you better know how to deal with it. So now the rebranding is, please stop bullying me. Well, first acknowledge you was the bully. If you're going to fix this, you can't fix it halfway. You can't rebrand when you don't acknowledge what the previous brand actually was. If I was the camera type, I'd talk about her every day too. You could, and you make money. There's people making bank. And I find it's poetically, spiritually connected. The very thing that allowed her to become infamous, the very thing that allowed her to make money, is now required to pay her debt, and everybody else is making money off of her. We're discussing Brenay, but I was speaking about Tim. Thank you for showing up tonight. And I think that's the problem. And y'all could call it karma. I don't believe in all of that. But at the end of the day, she is getting what she put out there, but she thought she could control the narrative. She can't. She's trying hard to change the narrative. You cannot. You think he's depressed? No way of calling that. Do I think he's depressed? Nothing shows me depression. Mm-mm. And again, depressed is a very difficult one without no information. So based on the videos, no. Could he be? Maybe. Again, speculation is all we have. That's all any of us can offer is speculation. We have to stop talking as if we know. We act like we are in the house with them and we know what they're doing, especially when it comes to him. She can't tell the truth. Yes, she does lie often. And sometimes the lies are so bad that literally people are calling her on the lie while she's telling another lie. Because he's smart enough to stay out of the line of fire. He knows that. Yep. I can't say she's obsessed. She knows it creates attention. She's not obsessed with Akira. She's obsessed with getting the attention from y'all. She knows it. If she didn't learn anything else from being on social media, she knows if she says or does certain things, it creates attention, which then makes money. Anything could be pathological, but there's no way of knowing without knowing what's her reasoning from actual conversation. That's another thing I hear people say about her being pathological. You don't know until you find out what's the motivation behind what she says or does. What you think of the Dr. Phil interview? I'd love to see you go through it. I'm not gonna tear that completely down, but what Dr. Phil did was set them up for something they wasn't prepared for. They didn't understand who he was. I'm not a Dr. Phil fan, even though I read his book years ago. What he did was he set the table that they walked right into it, that he was going to feed his fans. He could care less. I said, no, I don't believe in karma. Um, he he set them up to get the ratings that he wanted, knowing what he already knew. And they fell right for it because they thought they were in control and they weren't. And he literally embarrassed them, even to the point that it went right over their head when he made the 9/11 comment. They smiled, not realizing he was being disrespectful. And that's what happens when people who are not smart sit with somebody who is smart and don't see that the person who is smart is setting them up for failure. And they ate right up because all they were thinking about is, ooh, men don't believe in karma. Nah, not men. There's a lot of people who don't believe in karma. It's not just men, but I can't speak for other people. I can only say me. But not just men. There's men and women that don't believe in karma. But the idea is that, do you think she? Of course she does. You can see it in the videos. You saw it in the videos before she left TikTok when she said, "I won't leave TikTok." She left because the abuse kept coming. No one wants to keep getting verbally abused. I don't care who you are. It, karma can't be cause and effect as the way people use it. Because if cause and effect is karma, then that means that any time that I change the cause, then the effect changes. So karma, anything that you put into motion that's negative is going to particularly have a negative interaction. Doesn't mean all the time. And when people use karma, it's like you're guaranteed that if you do something negative, it's going to cause a problem for you. No, it is not, because people learn. And some people understand that what they did was wrong and they own it. And they fix it. And growth is growth. What I do on Monday, if I learn from it on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday and change my life on Friday, I'm a different person. The payment in the lawsuit was not the effect of the cause. The payment of the lawsuit was the effect of her behavior. The behavior hasn't changed, so at this point she don't care. She figures if I try not to pay, it's only going to make it worse. She put her business out there, yeah, because she thought she could control the narrative. You can't control social media, and you can't control people that you don't know that you stay connected to 24 hours. Nobody has that bandwidth. You can always fix it. It don't necessarily mean that you can find the answers to fix it. There's always a fix. The problem is the fix may be too complicated for the people who are involved in attempting to fix it. There's always an answer to everything. The question is, does the individuals around have the answer? Like right now, there's a cure to cancer out there somewhere. We just have not found it. So right now, there is no cure to cancer. But there's things out there that look like it can be, but we don't know until we put time in to do it. Her wanting to take on the narrative of being completely in control of this situation is what did her dirty. And now she's so stuck because actually she should have turned this phone off a long time ago. She doesn't. And then she's saying, please stop beating me for what I put out there. Why should they? That's something I would say to her. You keep telling people to leave you alone. You keep antagonizing them. You keep antagonizing her. So if you're going to antagonize Akira, you're inviting the very demons you yelling and screaming at to come back to you. You can't leave it alone. And she knows that. Do you think Tim sees the little abused girl in her? No, because he's an abused boy. They're both children who have never actually had someone sit them down and say, this is what adults do. Because if they had, they wouldn't have moved the way that they did. Causality is a real thing, right? What we do has an outcome. And if there's nothing learned from the outcome, we will repeat it. Representing yourself, yes, right there. That's a major one. That is a major one. Representing yourself in court is just foolish. That's like trying to operate on yourself. Just stupid. Even lawyers are told not to defend themselves, and she went in there on foolishness, and it cost her 1.7 million. Arrested development person, I know it's not necessarily arrested development unless you know when the trauma happened. I hear that one a lot too. I should have discussed that one too. Arrested development based on a trauma happening at a certain age and a person being locked in at that age. If you can't tell me when the trauma or what the trauma is, then how can we say it's arrested development? And I get it. I know why it seems to fit. But I gave you 7 things that it could be. I just said we don't know. It's all speculation at best. So it could be. I believe she's had major trauma. It could be the AB. Okay, let me ask the women this. Ladies, how many of you have never been the same since an AB? Don't tell me when you had it. Don't tell me how many. Just tell me if you have been the same since. And I've had this conversation in my office many a times. How many of you have been the same since an AB? Or have seen somebody who has never been the same since an AB? But you've been able to just figure out a way to go on with your life. And then you got to remember is we don't know what trauma she has suffered. We know what they talked about. We know what they shared. We know that she sees Corinne in one light. That's why she said, they're precious Corinne. Listen to the words she used. They're precious Corinne. Well, how could Corinne be precious and she not? They're twins. So her admission about herself is based on what she said about the sister. We do lie. And why do people lie? What's the motivation for lies? And again, when we start to see why people lie, it's either to gain control or to deflect. And if it's both, then the lying just continues because, again, she's been rewarded with a lot of money for those lies. So it's hard for us to say what is the truth and isn't because none of us knows what is the truth. We just know that she said one thing on one day and she said something on another day. They do lie when they're scared. All you got to do is look at children. Did you eat those cookies? No. Crumbs all around their lips. Was you in that cookie jar? Mm-mm. Cookie in their mouth. Why does her mom seem to be okay with Tim? That is a deep question that there's too many answers. She may know the truth. She may know that he's been around for a while. She may not care. There's a lot of things. She might be trifling. Who knows? Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's a lot of mothers who let me in the house and know what I was doing with their daughters. I ain't say nothing. A lot of mothers. I was a whore. I told y'all that. A lot of mothers were trifling like that. And they didn't say nothing because you know what? I don't care. They doing what they do. I've seen mothers know we's getting it in while they's in the house. Because if you trifling, you trifling. We don't know what the mother was years ago. I ain't fixing to let no boy. There you go. Sister shit. They have, and they shared women too. Talked about it on Twitter. The thing that we have to be careful of is from speculation, we try to create reality. You must say, based on what I've seen. We have to stop acting like the speculative information that we've been able to see is reality. We have to go with the reality that we've seen. And the reality that we've seen is nasty and is negative. And that's why I said she invited all this to herself. And that's why Tim is the villain in this. Tim held the keys to all of this. It did not have to be. And that's why I started this conversation off tonight. Yes, her actions, what she put it. Yes, but we don't know why she put it on social media. We don't know what she gets out of it. We don't know what prompted her to come to social media. We don't know what interaction her and Devin had behind the scenes. We don't know what interaction her and Tim had between the scenes. We don't know what interaction any of them have had other than what they've shown us. Yeah, of course. Because you can tell by the things that he says, he still has an attention to her, but he's mad at her for what she's done to him. And she's mad that he's here having to deal with this. You can see it. He wants the attention to talk about it, but at the same time, question, how did I even get here? So yeah, it's there. And the best part is that he used it to get himself in better shape. So that way he took that off the table. One less negative to deal with. Like I said, Devin has become what Brenay really wanted in him, but just not with her. And God bless him for that, because at least helped change his life in a different direction. And that's how you start to heal. So shout out to him. Based on what I've seen from the court transcripts, his mother encouraged Akira to sue. Yeah, we tend to forget that because moms played both ends against the middle. No mother deeply cares about you. Well, yeah, of course. But if mom is damaged, then how much do we blame the children for the damage that comes from the mother? And we've all seen that. That's why I say sometimes y'all criticize the mom and then don't connect the damage that mom may have done to the children and then beat the children up too. Now, does that mean the children deserve some of it? Yes, I've said that. But you also have to make the connection that if they were raised that way, then what are we dealing with? We're dealing with generational DNA. Only thing Tim says is, bro, he can't. Because no one sat him down and said, bro, you got to learn how to use this language better. He finished the papers. He did what he had to do. He got his degree. A lot of people have degrees that aren't good people and aren't smart. They just know how to be students. And I don't think he speaks like that in certain arenas. And yeah, I agree. And that's the reason why I made the offer to him to come have a conversation with me for free. I want to help. I don't believe she's obsessed with Akira. She's obsessed. I said that already. Appreciate you saying it again. He is too grown to talk like that. Yeah, but a lot of people talk like that when the camera's on, act stupid, and then behind the scenes they don't. They may think it's normal, but it's dysfunctional. Of course it is. But do most people that are dysfunctional know it's dysfunctional when they're being it? They don't. Because they'll find a way to make it appear positive. They both need help. I've reached out to all four. I've reached out to all four to offer my assistance and to talk to all four. Do you think it was confusing to Tim when he found? Yeah, I think it was. And again, we don't know what was actually said after that. That might also be why he was walking around so angry. Court exposed a lot that they did not want out. Therapy is needed by all of them. That's another reason why I reached out to all four. My ex-narc definitely had mommy and daddy issues. He's in therapy, but I couldn't do it. And you shouldn't. Anybody in a relationship that is not fulfilling, that is draining you to the point that you don't feel like yourself, if the person doesn't want to get help with you and you start to heal yourself, it might be time to leave them alone. Now, I never tell anybody in a therapy session, you should just cut a person off. You have to make that decision for yourself. But please understand, if you are moving forward and the person that you're with doesn't want to do anything, you can't drag an anchor for too long. You got to let it go. Tim expected to take him back. I believe so. I think he thought that door was open. And when she finally closed it, I think it was a shock to him because she had always taken him back before. Hey, look at the money gun. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You guys are great. Hey, another money gun. Look at that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And listen, this live thing is cute. Like I said, I'm on vacation. I don't know how long you're gonna get me for, but I'm on vacation, so I'm sitting here. I got time tonight. I don't feel like watching. I don't watch a lot of TV anyway, so a lot of times I have no idea what's going on television anyway. He said Akira gave up on him. He never thought. Yes, of course, he thought that door was going to be open. And you look at her text messages, and she still was trying. But then she said a time came, and every man needs to understand this, and every woman needs to understand this. There is a time when the person you have been kicking will look up and go, I don't want to be kicked no more. I don't want to be treated badly no more. And at that point, you've lost them. Now, they may not tell you. You may not even see the departure coming. But every person in a negative situation will get to a point that they don't want to deal with it anymore. Now, will they leave? All depends. If they don't feel supported or they don't feel they have any way to leave too, some people will just stay and try to make the best of a negative situation. I've seen that too. Happens more than you realize, guys. And I think sometimes when we attack them, I think we're attacking certain people in our lives too, but they're too easy to attack, so it makes it easy to do so. But I think a lot of us are attacking people that have either done us dirty or family or anything else because the vitriol at which we go at Brenay and Tim when we actually don't know them says something about the people who do it. They just don't want to have that conversation. That's when his disrespect became so loud. Of course, no stay. We need you up here. Now I ain't coming on live that often. Trust me, when vacation's over, you won't see me that often. This is cute while I'm on vacation. I don't like doing this because I don't like an algorithm that controls how I speak. Plus, I get bored. I'm not gonna lie. I've been on social media since 1994. I've been on since Yahoo Chat when AOL showed up and MySpace and all that. And I used to pimp on AOL and all of that. And it doesn't change. The technology changes, but people don't change. There are people that are going to use this to make money. People are going to use this to hoe, and people are going to use this to really advance themselves. It's okay. Nothing's new under the sun. What's my zodiac sign? Oh, Sagittarius, if you believe in that. Outgoing fire sign. Tim will punish Brenay or Kira for having he's sick. Yeah, you can take it that way. They're all not well. And at one time, like I like that Akira has gotten therapy, has moved on, but there's things that she could have did differently, but I don't attack victims. But there's definitely some red flags that were there that she could have seen and should have seen, but she didn't, but she's the victim. But yes, they all made mistakes, all four. Nobody's cleaning this. And if you think they are, you might want to sit down and regroup. Nobody's cleaning this. Akira, Devin, all of them. But there are some people dirtier. But nobody's cleaning this. Do you think if Brenay had the opportunity to get back? Yeah, I think so. Just out of ego. Just to be able to say she did it. Sick and tired of being tired of Kira after the Karen incident. Then Brenay too. Yeah. Oh, of course. Like I said, everybody gets sick and tired of something at a point. The problem is a lot of people may not leave. You know how many people in situations right now who's on this right here, who are in situations that are not healthy, but they try to make it work because they're the father of the children, they're the mother of my children, or they pay the bills, or I can't leave right now. We own a house and we own that are in negative situations. Yeah, pimping on AOL. Listen, I'm that old that I remember when the disc used to come and used to have dial up and hear that stupid noise. And yes, AOL Messenger was the thing. Pimping on MySpace, Mi Gente, Black People Meet, y'all name it. I seen it. Listen. I've been pimping since beepers when you had codes and you had to run get a payphone if you was trying to get cheeks. Come on now, I'm old. I'm 58. Y'all don't know. I wrote a book about it, From Gigolo to Jesus. I actually wrote my own memoir. I told my story. I was as nasty as anybody out there, but my life changed by going to therapy, starting Bible study, and meeting a woman after I failed my first marriage. I am happily divorced and happily remarried. I've been with my wife 26 years, but for 10 years before that, I was in a marriage I shouldn't have been. I was a hoe, a gigantic hoe, and I have no problem talking about it because I'm no longer a hoe. That's why I said I don't care what people think about me because you don't know what a person has been through or what a person has done to change their life. But what I do know is the work that is required, most people don't do. And here's what I find interesting about the people that attack Brenay. They'll be the same ones that in their own in their own content will say, I'm tired of the world. I'm tired of men. I'm tired of women. I'm tired of my job. I'm tired of my baby daddy. I'm tired of my baby mama. Why are you in that situation? And they won't address themselves, but they will attack her with vitriol. I'm going to put this hoe in her place. And Tim with them cheeks, and Tim is this and Tim is that. But let a person say something about them and they lose their mind, they will make a whole video. Keep my name out your mouth. Like you can control that. Like you can control somebody saying something about you. I find that the funniest on the planet. Keep my name out your mouth. How? Unless you're gonna make them disappear and risk going to jail for the rest of life, you can't stop somebody from talking. People make whole videos. You better stop talking about me. Come on, I feel like I'm back in high school, being a dean all over again. Like, come here, sit in the office. What happened? She was talking about me, Mr. B. She said, and Jimmy told me, and then he said, and all y'all slept with him? Oh, okay, just checking. The disrespect is overwhelming. Of course it is, because it's easy. And you get paid. Think about this. You get to come on, trash a chick, and get a check. You get to come on and defend a woman you don't know about another woman you don't know about a man that you don't know with another man that you don't know and get a check. Woo! Who gonna stop that? With no consequences. Who gonna stop that? Who gonna not sign on? And the app has set it up that if you stay on for hours, we will give you some pennies. You'll make some money. Now, if you're like Brenay and you made $11,000, $30,000, it's cute. See me 5 years later. See if you're still making it 2 years from now. Yeah, $50,000 look great. But 2 years, that's only $25,000 a year. 3 years, that's like $12,500. And what are you doing with it? But do what you do. Make yours. Make it any way you can get it. I'm not spending all day talking about somebody I don't know. I'm doing it now because I'm interested. And I'll get bored and leave it alone. Why does Brenay do quick choking, coughing when Tim says, because that's an interesting one. I'll rock with that for a second. Because hearing it from him hurts more than any of you. And she will quickly fix whatever to hold him. He's her everything. And let me point out why. And this is the sad part. This is why I'm like, y'all need to really see the damage that this child has gone through. She said to him, when he said, I don't know where you would wear that. Y'all all seen the Sheen haul. And he said, I don't know where you would wear that at. Y'all got on him about, well, take her somewhere. What y'all missed is when she said, I'll wear shoes with it, knowing she can't walk in shoes. That hurt. She was going to say anything to please him. Y'all got to understand there's damage to what y'all do. Now, she asked for this. Yes, she did. But when you watch it, and I'm a father of a daughter. If I was to see my daughter beg some man for attention, so much so that you look at that man and go, yeah, it don't look good on me. I would wear shoes if we went somewhere. Come on. Come on. That lets you know how deep that is, how bad that is. Do we ease up? Nope. And I get it. I understand why people keep their foot on her. I do. She keeps asking for it. Someone who knows the family says she's at least favorite. Oh, yeah. Well, that's again, look at that. That's a problem. How is she? Why does she know that? How many of y'all know that y'all was the least favorite of your moms? And how did that sit with you? She did look cute in the dress. That's the problem. That was the best piece out of all of it. And yet, my man was like, hey, where would you wear that? Instead of saying, we got to find some way to take you with that. That looks good. I got to find some way. We got to go out with that. He didn't say that because he doesn't know how to be a man. He doesn't know how to be a woman. And we're watching this. I'm spoiled rotten. See, there you go. Where my folks that read the Bible? Just say I do in the chat. If you read your Bible, say I do in the chat. I'm going somewhere with this. What's your assessment of Brenay's mentioning she is a mother? That's gas just to get y'all jazzed up. She knows she's not a mother, and she say it just because. But in her mind, she may feel that way, and that's part of the sickness. But if you guys read your Bible, say I do. There we go. All right. Didn't Joseph do the same thing? And his favoritism by his father rubbed his brothers so much so that they tried to fake his offing, his unaliving. You see how when children find out that you act a certain way, they will go as far as try to fake your situation and then go back to dad and lie. And this is why some of y'all got to act like y'all can't act like you've never seen this. And when Joseph was faced with the opportunity to destroy his brothers, he said, nah, go get the rest of your family. Coat of many colors, exactly. Go get the rest of your family. Now, you see where my scholars are. How many members of Joseph's family did he save from the famine at the end of that story? I'm going to put it on you now. How many members of his family did he save from the famine when he could have destroyed all of them? How many was it? Don't tell me all. I just said how many was it? I know it's all of them. How many? I didn't say I know it's all. How many? Close, not 70. How many is it? He was 60. This man, who they faked his unaliving, who was locked up, I think he had 70 something, who was locked up for not wanting to hump Potiphar's wife. So he went to jail for a crime he didn't commit after being faked unalived, became the viceroy, could have destroyed his family, and didn't. And if you continue to read, he says, Lord, I know why you made me go through this. But 70 or 79, the point is, look how many he could have destroyed. He didn't. So when you see someone favoring someone else, please understand what that causes other people to feel. When she goes, her precious Corinne, she's telling y'all something. Does it matter? No, because y'all say, I'm not trying to hear what she got to say. I don't care what she says. She's a hoe. Okay. You ain't got no hoes in your family? Ain't nobody else out there giving away cheeks and laying out some peen they wasn't supposed to? Everybody clean out here, huh? Ain't nobody else out here dirty? I acknowledge mine. I wrote a whole book about it called From Gigolo to Jesus. And yes, I put the sheer number. I'll tell you what. I will give you one guess. If you can guess the number of women that I have been with, I wrote it in my book. I will give you a signed copy. You only get one guess. And I will stop the person that I see when they put it in the chat. Hold on a second. Bellab, you won. Here it is. Here it is. And that number is rounded off, by the way. Hold on one second. There's your number. Bellab, hit my inbox. And I will send you a digital copy. I will send you a physical copy of my book. Bellab, hit my inbox. Yep, 500. I started having sex when I was 11 years old. Had my son when I was 14. And I have been humping since. When I was 16, I had a 40-year-old girlfriend who then invited her 52-year-old friend and asked me, did I have a problem doing to her what I did to her? And we got it in. You can judge me, I don't care. But before you judge me, let me go back some. All y'all folks that read your Bible say, I do, put in the chat. Before you judge me, put I do in the chat. If you read your Bible, put I do in the chat real quick. No, it's okay to judge. You can if you like, if you dare. That's between you and God. But put I do if you read your Bible. If you read your Bible, I'm speaking to the brothers in the body now. Rock with me because I'm a real Christian teacher. Please put I do in the chat. No, you can. I do. Okay, cool. How many of y'all read the New Testament? I ain't calling you New Testament Christians. Please tell me if you read the New Testament. Just say I do. If you read the New Testament, tell me I do. Okay, that's one. Come on, there's two. There's three. Come on, me. So y'all have no problem with reading the Testament that was written, 19 of the 26 books of the New Testament was written by a man that killed men, women, and children. That man, unalived, men, women, and children, and wrote 19 of the 26 epistles of the New Testament. So when I don't have a problem with people judging me, because often the people that judge me are the same people that support the dude who killed a bunch of folks. But it's okay. You know why? God used them. And used them in a way that changed lives. So I don't have a problem with people choosing me. That's the reason why I told you I was a hoe. I was a good one, too. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why I wrote a book called From Gigolo to Jesus. But the reason why I talk about it is because once I came to an understanding of who I was in God's eyes, went through therapy and Bible study at the same time, year and a half in therapy, 4.5 years of Bible study, my life was different. But the damage of being a hoe is sometimes the rest of your life. And you must live with that. Just because you clean up don't mean that the remnants of what you were doesn't still affect those. Do I think Trump is Antichrist? No. I think he's a pawn to the evil that feeds him. But that's a different conversation for another day. What people need to be worried about is not him, the 70 million or 80 million people who thought it was okay to vote for him. That tells you something right there. Do you think that Tim at least sees Brenay as a type of friend? I think they get along, but I think no one has taught those two children actually what love is. So how could they actually recreate love? You cannot become what you don't know. Some of y'all are judging her on your own standards or on your own knowledge. Why would I judge Brenay on my level? It wouldn't be fair to her. See, true healing starts with the person who's offering it. The Bible says the word cuts. It's a double-edged sword. It cuts the user first before the person getting it. The word is a double-edged sword. It cuts me before anything. We have to check ourselves if we're going to try to help somebody. It's a shame though, because we get at her, and then I sit back and go, we slinging them rocks, aren't we? Okay. She asked for it, so y'all giving them to her. Yeah. She come on and she riles up the hornet's nest. I'm a mother. Yeah, I'm a mother now. But here's the funny part, right? Can I help you with something? I had children before my wife and I got together. She's sleeping right now. Been together 26 years. I had children. She would call my children her. She would say, I'm the mother of all his children. She would say that. We didn't have any children at the time. She was a stepmom. But that's what she said. But because it was coming from a loving place, it was accepted. In her mind, she may be trying to be that. I don't know. Did it sound ick? Yes, because she hasn't owned her behavior. Her problem, her biggest problem, is she's never owned the negatives that have made her. She wants everybody to forget about it. That's not going to happen. If she would literally just come out and literally own her behavior, go to the person that you hurt, Akira, apologize and do it the right way. Go to your ex-husband and apologize and do it the right way. And then get on here and say, guys, listen, I was foolish. I was stupid. I've already created a payment plan. I've apologized for Akira, and I literally shouldn't have done the things I did. Then she should create a private group, sell subscriptions, write a book about everything, cut loose the marriage, start all over again, and literally sell all the information to all of you. She get $1.7 million to pay off the debt. If Risa Tisa can make a ton of money and talk about who I married, so can Brenay. Why does she stir the pot? Because she gets paid for it, the same way everybody else stirs the pot. Why do you think there's 9,000 think pages and everything else about her? Because there's money involved. What is there to talk about some 3 years later? A lot, because she keeps giving us something to talk about. So people do it because they get paid. And she does too. She ain't going nowhere. It is when money comes that quickly for lack of talent. Yeah, you're going to act like it's monopoly money. Most people on social media do act like it's monopoly money until it's not, and then you out here bootied out. And I'll be sitting back right here, probably on another vacation, saying, "Hey, what y'all want to talk about?" She would make more money than, of course, if she sat down right now and owned everything, created a payment plan, started paying that payment plan, apologized openly and publicly right here, the same way she started the disrespect, explain what the conversation was after she apologized to Devin as well, have the payment plan in place, and then behind the scenes take her money to hire a ghostwriter to write her book, private group where she talks about everything, leave them kids alone too, but and what would happen is people would pay it because they want to hear how it got here. And I mean, just put it all out there. Oh, don't hold nothing back. She make money. Well, she believes her own lies. And the reason why most people don't apologize, in their heart of heart, one, they know if they do, it makes this whole journey invalid. And she knows that the minute she apologizes, she loses all power position. Of course she's jealous of Akira. She had what she wanted, and she thought if I put myself in that position, I'm gonna have what they have. No, it doesn't work that way. Just because a man is good with somebody else, don't mean he's gonna be good with you. She can't accept putting money. But now she don't have a choice because now the law is said you going to. Her whole life is over now. Every dollar she can try to spend it on now, it's over. You can purchase it. The link is in my bio. You can get it from my website, which then I get a bigger commission, or you can go to Amazon or anywhere books are sold. All my books are there. As I said, I hate my man that owns Jeff Bezos because he takes 55% from all us authors before we even sell the book. So every time you buy an author's book from Amazon, they lose money, but we still make a little bit. But if you want to get it, you can get it from my website if you want it signed, or you can get it from Amazon. But the link is in my bio. The charge getting dropped while active restraining order. No, it's not crazy because, again, listen to what the judge said. Not enough evidence. What y'all think is evidence is not evidence. You don't know what, you don't think Robinette, as good as she is, presented what she thought was going to work. And the judge said, you have the freedom to resubmit. It happens. Now, is the problem with her? Yeah, there's definitely some stalking there, but you got to be careful, right? Look at what y'all say is cyber stalking. Aren't some people doing that to her right now? Now, should she pay a price? Yes, because when she was told to stop, she didn't. And my thing is, I don't play with the law. I don't play with lawyers, and I don't play with court. When I got to go speak in court, I speak briefly, say what I got to say, and I get up out of Dodge. I am not in there to play around. I'm not about to lose my license over foolishness. They ask me what my name is, I say it. They ask me a question, yes. Do I elaborate when they ask me? I don't play in court. Why do you think Tim may feel now that he has to pay? He hates it. This is a kid that's spoiled by women. You think he wants to pay his money? And now knowing there's a new dude on the scene that's going to spend his money, of course he don't want to pay it. Most dudes wouldn't. But he created this situation. He's the villain in all this. And he needs to be talked about more, even more than y'all talking about Brenay. But Brenay invites this. She wants this. It also makes her feel alive, man. Y'all have seen women like that. Y'all have seen men like that. They are so caught up on drama that they love it. Can't wait. Don't act like this is new. What's new is that the nuance of this. If I told you some of the stuff that I've seen in some of my therapy sessions, it is worse than this Brenay thing. We're just having to get an insight because she won't turn the camera on. This ain't the worst thing going. It's not. Nisi will be locked him up because he is. Yeah, that's you don't play with child support. Child support will get you locked up, lose your license, all that. He can play around if he wants to. Won't be allowed to vote, nothing. Y'all also have when y'all say let off the hook, right? Do y'all know how slow courts move? Some things take years. Years. You don't, but here's the problem. Every year that this goes on, it's bad for them because as they go to change their life and they come and take everything back, oh my God. You think it's caught on the love of money? Not caught. I think he understood what it was, but he gave away his whole life for sex and money. Now he paying a price for that. I want to see something here. Oh man. Okay, let me see something here. How long was the mega average case? Oh, he stays out of the fire unless his woman take it. That's another thing that burns me up. All right, let me give y'all something, right? Because when y'all talk about, oh my God, I can't believe how slow the courts is moving. Y'all know, put in the chat if you know who Mega Evers was. Put I know. Put I know in the chat if you know who Mega Evers was. Put I know if you know who Mega Evers was. If you don't know, you don't have to lie. It's okay. I figured enough if you would, right? Mega Evers, civil rights activist who got 66,000 people to register to vote down south, which caused them to unalive him in front of his children, in front of his house. Do you know it took 30 years? Marley Evers fought for justice for her husband, even after finding a new relationship, getting remarried, and all of that. Sister Marley Evers fought for her son son, her husband, 30 years. 30 years. They gonna tell me things didn't move slow? Please understand that sometimes it's just what it is. Is it perfect? No. Is it right? Hell no. We live in America. But sometimes, guys, we gotta be careful how we attach our energies when there are people who have gone through greater things. This is not even a thing that should be so talked about. We're at a very critical point. Medgar Evers and his wonderful wife Marley Evers. But I get it. Like I know why this is of interest to so many people. I get it. I do. And like I said, I'm on now only because I'm on vacation. When I get back in 2 weeks, no, I'm not spending this much time on this. I just felt like in the night because I had talked about it. I seen people was interested, but I don't like to talk about the same subject all the time. It's very boring to me and it's demoralizing because it's like, damn, well, how long are we gonna just keep kicking the unalive body? But I get it. Like I said, there's money involved. And listen, I want to see the end of this case. I want to see what happens. I want to see the outcome of this case. Am I excited by it? No. I'm sad for everybody involved. I'm sad for those children. I'm sad for everybody. And that is why I said to Tim, I want to be able to offer some type of assistance. Everything isn't about punching somebody in the head, man. Everything isn't about, look, you're going to pay. It's not for us. We got to stop acting like God. It's not for us to render judgment. Some of that grace that y'all don't want to give, be careful because we may need it in the future. I'm just saying. I love how people go, I'll never forgive her. Okay, be careful. I've heard that before. I've heard a lot of people say that. I've heard a lot of people be that way. And the sad part is many of us are fighting about what she's doing. Like I said, when we've done it, or we have family members who have done it or doing it. That don't make it okay though. And like I said, she keeps asking for this. And Lord, I wish she would stop. I so wish she would just get offline, take about 3, 4 months off. Do you think Tim would come to you? And I hope so. Listen, that's why I put the offer out there. I reached out to Devin too. I sent Devin 2 messages. I reached out to Devin as well because again, I talked about this from the beginning. The men in this situation have not been heard from. The men are nowhere around. This is not by accident. The men are nowhere to be found. Why? And again, I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. All I know is what you show. We saw Akira's father at court. Cool. I'm glad we did. And actually, the ones like Akira, I'm glad her father was there. I believe it's why she's able to get past this. But there's been no men involved with this. None. And when there's no men involved in this, what are we doing? Yes, I'm hoping that the man takes me up on my offer. I really am. That's why I offered it. If y'all don't know, you can go look on my page. I said to the man I'd like to meet him free of charge. I'm not gonna charge him anything. I'm looking for something. I can't find it. Hmm. We don't know actually. I would like to believe they don't, but because we haven't heard from them, we don't know what they condone. I don't believe they do. So is Tim lonely and feel how there's no way I can ask. There's no way I can answer that. I would like to believe he does. I believe there's something missing, but again, not knowing who he is personally, I don't know what he's feeling. I don't know how he sees this. Maybe there's something psychologically wrong and he's getting a kick out of this. I don't know. I just gave 7 things that it could be. 7 disorders that it things it could be. That's why we have to be careful when we're so knowing. You're not knowing. You don't know everything. We don't have all the information. You're speculating at best. Do you think Brenay was one who had the most to lose through this ordeal? No, it was Tim. He had 2 children. Nothing greater than that. The man forfeited basically their lives. That's sad. And it's just pitiful. He's the villain. Money? I'll never put children up against money. Definitely Tim. Because he was the fire starter. He could have stopped all this. He allowed it to happen. Can't sleep with somebody unless they say okay. If not, that's a crime. He said yes. I don't care how much she shook it in front of him. I don't care how much money she had. I don't care if the things are larger than he's ever seen. The minute he said yes, the minute you let the devil in your house, you cannot complain that he's trying to burn it all down. That's his job. He even tells you, "This is what I do. You let me in, I'm burning it all down because that's what I do." But folks act like that's new. My grandmother once said to me, rest in peace, Grandma. She said, "Boy, you better stop pulling at the devil's tail because one day he might turn around, and when he do, it'll be too late for you." And it's funny that when I was younger and she said that, I didn't get it. After 4 years of Bible study, And by the way, I have a master's degree in human service counseling, specializing in Christian ministry. So for you guys wonder how I intertwine the Bible to what I do, I actually have a master's degree in it. And she was 100% right. And she didn't have all the education I had. Thank her. Thank God she allowed me to help me to get it. But she made sense, meaning you play around with evil, play around with negativity, play around with the things you know are wrong. At some point, it will burn you. He kept her close, knowing the history. Now, I'm going to say something. I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way. This is one of the things that I get at Devin about. You knew your wife had been with Tim years ago. You didn't tell Akira until you thought they were cheating. That means that when y'all were out eating, 3 of the 4 people at the table knew the history that she didn't. That's wrong to me. Now, I understand he might not have said anything because they told him not to. He might have really believed his cousin and his cousin's wife, whatever. But the 3 of y'all were hanging out knowing your wife had been with her husband. Nobody actually said anything. You let this woman sit there and you knew. And he said, I told her because I felt she needed to know after you were hurt. And that's not cool to me. Like I said, I'm going to call it like I see it. 3 of those people sitting at a table knew what was going on or knew what had happened. Does she continue to even bother with him knowing he had cheated if she finds out that her husband had been with this new best friend? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. He didn't. Well, I reached out to him twice. He follows me. He did follow me back, but I've sent him a couple messages. He never responded. It's okay. Listen, a lot of our young folks today are not going to talk to some old dude they don't know. Even if my content is consistent, a lot of folks, hell, not just young folks, a lot of old folks don't come to therapy, but my content is consistent. You can go to my YouTube page, my YT page, and see I've been doing this for years. This ain't new. Even before I started doing therapy on a regular, when I was teaching, I still would talk about the things that I knew people needed to hear. It wasn't sexy, it wasn't popular, and I knew it wasn't going to get a lot of views, but I knew I'm here to help. I don't make my money here. This is the longest I've been on in years, and that's only because I'm on vacation. Trust me. And let's see, I'm in Minnesota right now. When I get back on the 20th or whatever that Monday is, I go back to my regular move. Won't be none of this. There's nothing wrong with going to therapy at 50. There's never a bad time to get help. Never. Never a bad time to get help. And the reason why is because if it's going to fix a problem, why hold on to the problem? Where in Minnesota, I'm not going to give that information. I'm just in Minneapolis for junior gold. My daughter's bowling in junior gold. That's about where I'll leave it. I don't give my location to anyone. Not saying that you do anything negative to me, but no, 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 no. I am not that trusting of social media. How does Tim redeem himself? Oh, that's a good question. I've actually said if he wants to stay with Brenay and how he redeems himself, the two of them own everything. Come out first behind the scenes, reach out to Robinetta Jones. First, she asked for a payment plan for what she owes. Second, he asked Robinetta, could he create a settlement with Devin so they ain't got to go to court? He will own everything that he did. Create a settlement. You're going to owe Devin money. Pay it. Second, you come and both of them go to Akira and apologize for their behavior. Give her all the information of what they've done to her, apologize for it. If she accepts it, she accepts it. She doesn't. Then he goes to Devin and apologize. Both of them go to Devin and apologize for what they did to him, give him all the information that he might ask, answer any questions that he had. Next, you work with Akira to make sure that you are taking care of your child support for the children. Make sure that you have your visitation schedule in order, but first make sure that all the child support is caught up as much as you can and make sure that you're paying it on a regular. And then the two of you get professional help together and figure out how do we start all this over and to be able to work with each other. Visit mine, Minneapolis. Okay. And Minneapolis is beautiful. Okay. I got you. Actually, like I said, I'm here for bowling. Big Nationals is here. So my daughter bowled today. She's in first place. Congratulations to my little sweet pea. She did a thing today. I'm proud of her. That's what I'm talking about. And then she practices tomorrow. We go to the convention center. Then we got to go back. Opening ceremony is Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday she bowls, and then she makes the cut, and we go from there. Do you think they should? Oh, of course. The apology has to be very public. The apology has to be on this the same way that the disrespect was offered. It has to be here, and they both have to give it all up. They got to come on here and literally say, "Y'all were all correct, and here we're going to say why." But what we're going to do, I got you. And then what you do is, once you have apologized to Akira, fix it with your kids, talk to Robinetta, and talk to Devin. Here's what they don't give you: they don't owe anybody on social media anything. What you do is create a private room, charge money for it, write a book, charge money for it, and everybody who wants to know what they said to Akira, Devin, and the children and Robinetta, they pay for it. Take control of the narrative of saying, we will give it all up every week. We will have a 2-3 hour live explaining to you what's happening, but it's going to be in a private room at this amount of money per month. Make the people who have made money off of you give it back. But after you have, thank you so much. After you have made your pleas of apologies and fixed everything behind the scenes, you ain't got to give everybody that. You can let everybody know you're going to tell them about it. Say, hey, we had a good conversation with Akira today. Hey, we had a great conversation with Robinetta today. We created some things. We're going to talk about it this week. Hey, we both spoke to Devin this week. We met with him and his mother, and we apologize, but we want to talk about that. We're going to break it all down for you over the next 50 weeks. We're going to cover everything. We're going to talk about when we really originally planned on being with each other. We're going to talk about how often we're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about the cheating. We're going to talk about the marriage. We're going to talk about Dr. Phil. We're going to talk about everything because we want y'all to know. We're going to talk about him being with my sister, all of that. We're going to talk about all of it, but only in our private group. It'll also be in our book that's coming out in 6 months. We don't know that. We don't know that. The way it appears is that way. We don't know what it could be. It could be. No way of knowing. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're never in too deep if you're breathing. There's always an up. Yeah. Oh, I thought she was still. I knew she was asleep. You're never in too deep. You can fix it, but it's going to cost. There's a price to pay. The pain is going to hurt because she had the life that she thought she was going to have, and she remembers how Tim looked at her, at Akira, and he doesn't look at her that way. If y'all remember in The Bodyguard, remember It was Whitney Houston's sister who hated the fact that she never got the attention, so much so that she kept trying to knock her off because she had talent but was never looked at. Sometimes a person sees somebody else in a position that they think should have been them, so they'll do whatever. I don't. That is not something I want to pay for. I hate seeing it with these pseudo reality people. Who want to see that foolishness? If I want to see boxers, I want to see real boxers. The last thing I want to see is celebrity boxing. It's ridiculous, corny and ridiculous, and just why I keep hearing somebody in the hallway. I gotta go put this lock on the door. Yes, I keep a lock that I put on a hotel door. I even have an alarm that I bring with me. See, when you work with enough folks and know what people go through mentally, you take those precautions with you. It should be over there. Yeah. It slides in, you turn it, lock it, and then a little what's the name that I program to make noise. This is what's it? That's exactly it. She monitored their relationship. Of course she did. She was there. She was the best friend. She was listening, and she saw what Akira was getting. And remember, I think it was Barbie today. I think I heard her was reading about how often Brenay said they were having sex. I mean, Akira was how they were having sex when they were in court. Brenay figured that was going to be her. She just didn't realize she's not Akira, and he don't see her the way he saw Akira. Now they probably were having as much originally. Most people do when they're cheating. The people want to see Corinne's for what? If it's not him, there's nothing to force him to give DNA. So what are you gonna learn other than the kids ain't her? And why do you want to know? Why does it matter? You see, people are so ingrained in something that really don't matter. They want to know for what? But what does their lies change in your life? Think about it. What does their lies or their behaviors change other than triggers you, which means other people who have lied to you that you know bothers you? I get that. But their lies don't bother me because they got to pay for that. And they are paying for it. People that just want her to stop lying. She can keep lying if she wants to. It's already she's 1.7 in the hole and still got to pay her ex-husband. If that's not enough incentive to keep lying, she ain't going to stop. It is like watching a soap opera. But soap operas are horrible. How many years I had to sit up and watch, what was that, Jesse and Angie? All my children? I'm dating myself. Now all the old heads in the room know what I'm talking about. I'd be sitting there watching All My Children and Jesse and Angie, and then they thought Jesse was dead and all. Oh, please. I was there for that run. And Luke and Laura, yeah, I know that. Y'all don't know nothing about Luke. Y'all don't know nothing about Luke and Laura. If y'all, oh wait, put that in the chat. If y'all know about Luke and Laura, Jesse and Angie, put it in the chat. I remember. I remember. Oh, I do. Come on now. Put it in the chat if y'all remember. Young and the Restless with a man that had the mustache that never had to get trimmed. General Hospital. That's right. Come on, put it in there. Do you know why she? Do you know why she still has not had to pay? Because the courts move slow on this case. She will pay. You can't avoid this. She's going to pay. She's just not paying on our time. I think y'all thought it was gonna happen. Victor Newman. There we go. My man with the mustache that don't move. He had that porn mustache since the '60s, bro. that porn stash never changed. Brother got like 60 years old, had that same porn stash. Of course she thinks it's a joke. Is there any reason that she don't? And the funny thing is, y'all gotta realize, I just said to you, courts move slow. Marley Evers took 30 years for justice for her husband. Come on now. Courts don't move the way we want them to move. They move slow. I have court cases right now. They're moving slow. Ain't nothing I can do, but when they pay me to show up to court, I show up and then talk. Luke and how there you go. Jesse and Angie, come on. Y'all understand? Them summers of the late 70s, early 80s, Luke and Laura, Jesse and Angie, that was killer. They had ran off. when with the Spandau Ballet, when Laura got SA at the disco. Y'all don't know. If y'all don't know, you don't know. I was real with it. Nina and Cliff, come on. My grandmother had me sitting there watching this foolishness when I was young. Hey, I'm down on the prices right though. Found out my man Bob Barker didn't like people of color. Now that I see it and look back at the videos after hearing that, I was like, damn, Bob, you ain't like us? Damn. Bob Barker did not like folks of color. Now I see why he wasn't getting hugged by the sisters. Really, Bob? Find out that Bob was a straight up R word. Damn, Bob. But yeah, I used to watch Price is Right too. Let's Make a Deal. Yeah, all that. Then back in the days, Phil Donahue and all them other stupid shows. Yeah, man. Listen, I'm showing my age. But again, guys, but listen, y'all gotta understand, man. I look through a different lens at Brenay and Tim. We know what we know because they showed us. Yeah, look it up. Bob Barker was an aces. He didn't like folks of color. Richard Dawson kissing everybody in the mouth. Richard Dawson was giving everybody herpes. Richard Dawson kissed everybody in the mouth. Ew, you so nasty. Richard Dawson was out here kissing everybody in the mouth. I'm like, oh, bruh. Is there anybody who does? Go back and look. There wasn't a woman that Richard Dawson didn't plant them lips on. Yeah, he literally ran from a woman of color. Actually, it turns out that I had heard that before, but I never put the videos together. And it turns out that he really disliked, and that's why the sister that was on the show never was seen up front. She wasn't up front. Yeah, it's sad. But you know what? Living in America, that's what it's going to be. And that's another reason why we got to understand that some things just don't require enough energy. It really shouldn't, but we do. And I get it. These are the times that we live in. But like I said, there's more important things that's going on that I try to have a conversation about. Excuse me, turn this lamp around. That we really need to work on. We got a senator that hasn't been heard from in 3.5 weeks that we don't even know if the man is actually alive. And the reason why they don't want to say nothing is because they'd have to have a special hearing, which then changes the balance of power. So they're trying to drag it out to August. So trust me, guys, there's a lot going on. I did not eat my dinner tonight. I had rigatoni with chicken. Yeah, spicy rigatoni with chicken. Oh boy. All right. That's what we get at Bernie's. Exactly. I'll eat it tomorrow. Here till next week. Well, any more questions, guys? Before I go, I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for all of the gifts. Thank you for all of the hearts. 85,000 hearts. Cool. Appreciate you. Thank you for all of everything. Um, I don't get the chance to do this. So, like I said, I'm here. I might even come on tomorrow when I come in, depending. I got to see what time we got to get up the next morning. But instead of watching, no, don't go. All right, I'll hang up for a little bit. Just for a little while. I ain't doing nothing. Listen, I got to get up early, but I'm not bowling. My daughter is. So I'm just being a chauffeur. But, yeah. Oh, no, you're welcome. I appreciate it. I listen. You guys have been great with the questions. Y'all have been respectful. I didn't have to be rude to anybody or block anybody or anything like that. I respect that and I appreciate it. I'm glad you respected me. Um, you know, my wife and I talk about this and it's just I try to be. I serve Delaware right now, but I do have clients in other states and other countries, but it is on a consultation basis, meaning that because I can't accept insurance from other states, I see people on a consultation basis based on, but if they have a therapist, I get out the mix. I do not step on other therapists' toes, but I do offer consultations most of the time twice a month. People will pay me to sit down and have a conversation with me, and we try to build a plan of action for them. But if a person has a therapist, I get out the way. It's not fair to another professional that I'm stepping on their toes. So that's one of my first questions when somebody reaches out to me. Do you have a therapist? The minute you say yes, we stop right there. I'm building a private community that I would like to do this more often in my private community because I don't like anybody's algorithm telling me what I can and cannot say. And I also don't like the fact that if somebody doesn't like what I'm saying, that they can actually keep reporting. I believe I hear people all the time say they're reporting the live and you got to try to do all this hoop jumping to keep the live going. I don't need that. Listen, in the private community, it's simple. The community will be private, but it'll be a fee. If you want to send me money through my Cash App or something like that because you feel something I said was of value, go right ahead. I am not going to sit on here and beg people to do anything. That is the reason why I work. It's the reason why I do what I do. Thank you, Mr. Keith. Great live. Okay, cool. Have a good night. Appreciate you. Thank you for the kind words. We're here until next Sunday, and then we drive to Indiana where we get some sleep for the night. And then from Indiana on home to Delaware Monday. I go back to work on Wednesday, so I have some audiobooks that I am listening to and enjoying. I'm finishing up Dawn Staley's book. It is outstanding. I really do love it. And was allowing my daughter to listen when we was in the car. I really believe that helped her with winning today. And I'm so proud of my little girl winning today. A therapist discussing a case and offering consultation services. Ask you, oh, thank you. I got somebody promoting me. What do you think of a therapist who cries? That's a tough one. Have I cried in sessions? Yes, I'm gonna be honest. It all depends on your relationship with your therapist. Now, if your therapist is crying and they ain't got no control because they heard some things, I don't know. But we're real, and I'm very honest and real with the clients I serve. And if something hits me, or when I see my client in a position that I can't help them, I'm not gonna lie, I do get emotional. What is the name of that book you was telling us about? Which one? The Grandma's Hands about the generational DNA, or my book, which is From Gigolo to Jesus. I've also written 6 others, and I've been a part of 10 anthologies. So all the links to my books are in my bio. Just take you to my Linktree link where you can see all my books on my website. But the audio book that I was referring to is Grandma's Hands about generational. Hold on one second, I'll tell you. Let me see if I have because I don't want to stop the live. Let me see if I have my Audible here, and I can tell you I have a bunch of books in my library. Let's see here. Nope, I'm gonna have to do it this way. Audible. I just downloaded some books before I actually came here. I listened to a ton of books. Let me see something here. Sign in. Let me see. Bum bum bum. Okay. Yep. I put my fingerprint here for my password. Let's go. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. My library. Uh, okay, let's see. These are the most recent books I downloaded. Let me go to what I've read. Am I missing something? I'm sorry if I did. Let me see something finished. There you go. Let me go to my finished books. Nope. That's the Kevin Hart book. I read that. It was all right. Monsters, I think was the name of it. Okay, unfinished. Here we go. These are books that I started that I haven't finished. Let me see. Grandma's. I'll tell you the name of a second. Sorry, guys. I'm taking so long. I downloaded Arsenio's book, too. I love biographies and memoir books. I like to hear. I read Will Smith's book and Jada Pinkett's. Jada Pinkett elaborated on a lot of things that after a while I had to stop. I didn't even finish it because it was just like, okay. But I did enjoy some of it because I realized that her and Will, their parents, is really what caused the problem for both of them. If you've never listened to Will Smith's and Jada Pinkett's book, you should, but read them together and you will see that they're suffering from issues of their parents. I'll give you an example. Jada in her book talked about her mother's drug addiction. That has an effect. Will talked about his father's alcoholism and seeing the DV with his mother and him unable to stop the father from hurting moms, and that created a problem with women. That's a perfect example of what you see as a child affecting you as an adult. The reason why he was so quick with why he married women without really thinking about it was because he felt he was unable to protect his mother. So he felt he would really jump into things quickly because it was his way of protecting women, which is what cost him years later at the Oscars when he was trying to defend Jada's honor. And yet they hadn't been together in almost 6 years, 7 years. They weren't even living together. So you're defending a woman that you're not even with when Chris Rock had been telling jokes about her. And on a night that should have been your night to win the award that you have been trying so hard to get, you threw it away for what? When you and your wife weren't even together. Now, I think there's a lot when you listen to both of their books that created issue that is very great for conversation. But now the title of the book is called My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathways to Mending Our Hearts and Bodies by Rima Menakem. Do you think Jada's abusive to Will? I think her form of abuse is the way she speaks and treats him. I don't think she's actually putting her hands on him, but I think her stubbornness or the way she goes about it, just not necessary. And if you actually watch when Will first put his hands on Chris Rock, she was smiling. I believe a woman of substance stops her man on that night, knowing that how big this night is for the man that she claims to love. She doesn't let him throw it all away over trying to defend something that they can't control, which is stupid jokes. I think a woman of substance doesn't allow that to happen. Oh, I think mentally, yes. And I think when you listen to her book, you hear a lot of it. When you listen to her book and you listen to, and the fact that she kept bringing up Pac and she kept mentioning Pac, even to the point that the daughter who never met Pac wrote a letter to him. Again, you got to watch the actions of the children. And if you really want to see something, if you watch Will Smith's semi-documentary on YT, if you notice, Jada's not really in it to be seen. When he was just talking about his life and everything leading up to writing his book, Jada's not there to be seen. They don't get there till episode 6 of the 8 episodes or 7. I didn't realize how much her mom was out there. Yeah. And that affected her because then look, she was out there with a guy who was selling the same type of drugs her mom was using. And then she had this affection. And then when she talked about her and Pac, but Pac had an affection with a few people. Yo-Yo and a couple of others, and might even have a child out there with Yo-Yo or somebody else. And I forget who the other young lady is. But Jada makes it thinks it was all about her. It could have been. I just think when you look at it, how many times are you going to bring up to your current husband about who Pac was to you, but you married him and him trying to compete with a ghost? There's a lot to it. I don't want to psychoanalyze them tonight. I'm tired. But there's a lot. Read both of their books together, and it'll really show you how marriage can look one way. Will said something that I thought was real interesting. Will said, what do you do when you get to the top of the mountain and you've gotten everything that you wanted? No one talks about that. And you could hear it in his voice that he had achieved everything that he wanted and still wasn't happy. And when you grow up, and I want to give you something about Will I think is interesting too. Imagine the man you love the most being the man that harmed you the worst. What does that do to you emotionally? She said she never wanted to get married. And Will doesn't wait to get married because he's so fearful of losing women because of what happened with his mom. It is a traumatic thing for the two of them. Ridiculous. Yeah, I just realized I got a bunch. I just downloaded a bunch of books I got to read. I got 2 credits left. Yeah, you can't listen. If they tap, they tap. Where we at? 90. Oh, keep it going. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's okay. Listen, it's late. It's after almost 1 o'clock here. Listen, they don't tap. It's okay. Y'all hung out with me this time, this long. It's okay. But I appreciate it. Thank you for so much for governing the chat there for me. Appreciate that. Who's that? Mushi? Did I say that right? Mushi? Because again, I got a thing with names. I think it is the utmost disrespect to not try to say somebody's name correctly. And you should actually ask them, is that how you say your name? I was I was tapped, but I was washing my cool. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. That's right. Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let me tell you something too. Don't ever let somebody get your name wrong. Your parents gave it to you. Don't let somebody disrespect your parents. People call me Kevin all the time, and every time they do, I stop them. It's Keith. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. When you say, "Hey, Kevin," no, it's Keith. My mom gave me that name. Get it right. I'm sorry. You're not going to call me what you want. And there's a deeper thing to it too, but I'm not going to go into the slavery angle tonight. There's definitely a deeper angle where I will not let anybody call me what they want. Call me by my name. Just like when people send me stuff and they don't put my acronyms behind my name too. Oh no, you better put those letters behind my name. I earned those. It's a nickname I gave my youngest. This was originally her page. Okay, respect. Yeah, when people send me things, I'm like, no, no, no. Please, next time you send me, put my yeah. They be like, oh yeah, put those letters back there. MS, MHSC, and MSED. Put those two master's degrees letters back there. I heard that. I know some people go, don't be so petty. No, 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 no. I earned that. I earned those. Put those behind my name. Don't send me something and don't put it back there. That's why people got to pay me when they want me to show up and talk. Exactly. And I'm still paying the student loans on them too. That's why I'm hoping this court case go through and they wipe out student loans. I would love that. $73,000. I would love that. But yeah, I don't play when it comes to my mother and grandmother, for me to come from the projects, to have two master's degrees, when at one point in seventh grade a teacher told me I was the worst thing my mother ever had. Oh, you're gonna put that behind my name. I heard that. And I'm always trying to get smarter, to get better. Debating the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett drama. Nah, it's too late for that. I think they hid so much in their marriage that people fell for the magical couple that they wanted you to see, but they laid it out there in their books a lot. Here she starts her book off with talking about she wanted to unalive herself, but how her kids are going to react to it. Will talks about being abused by his dad, and both of them had negative parents when they were younger. So I believe there's some type of psychological bond to their parents both being substance abusers. So there's definitely something. Cheyenne Bryant. Is that the woman that believes that she's a doctor when she wasn't? Is that who that is? But yeah, so but listen to both of their books and make your decision from what you see. Yeah, I mean, listen, what she says doesn't make sense. You just because the school closed, the work doesn't disappear. And if you got your degree, the state that conferred you has the information, not the university. Your degrees, like okay, let's take my own. Both of my degrees are conferred by the states that has the accreditation from both of the universities. So you can always check with the state because you have to then send that information to the state once your degree is conferred, meaning that it has met all the requirements. That's where you get the degree. And to not show proof of it, that you can't get the degree foolishness, please. I just ordered, you can order copies of your degree to give to places so you don't actually have to take your degree off the wall. So, yeah, listen, people made her who she is because people don't require anything. And she was able to say doctor, and people bought all into it. This is the world that we live in. Nobody checks anymore, and nobody wants anything extra. They're surface. So, and her being pretty, that plays a factor into it too. Handsome and pretty folks are going to get more leeway than other folks, and even to the point that they can become things. But her attitude towards people, what is I find disgusting. The way she speaks to people. I don't really care. I didn't know who she was until this drama started, and I don't pay attention to it. So I was like, all right, cool. I tend to not hold on. I know a lot, but I tend not to hold on to a lot of it, especially if it's not connected to, like, okay, she's not a doctor. And here's the best part: even not being a doctor, people will still pay her to do whatever, to where we live in. People will still pay, and people are defending her. I know one thing I did see from TikTok was the way she spoke to Torre. Not necessary. Was it? And I've been on many an interview. I've been on many a panel. They tell you ahead of time how everything is going to end. They tell you how they're going to close a show. So to her to act that way, she was on Basketball Wives. Oh, I didn't. Basketball Wives is still on. Oh, you got me. I didn't even know that show still exists. But that was created by what's something O'Neal, right? Shaq's original wife, something like that. I don't know. Reality TV is the worst. Worst thing that ever happened to our children. Going all the way back to whatever that show was on MTV, the original one, whatever it was called, because it's not reality TV. There's nothing reality about it. It's all shaped to create drama for you to watch. And once they opened up that door, no, not Big Brother, the other one that had these are six people from different parts of the world, and they all come together to be the real. Not the, is it the real world? No, not the real world. Whatever it was on MTV. Oh, it's the real world. Well, that's what it is. Yeah. And it opened up the door. Then like Survivor, Big Brother, all these Biggest Loser. I was up for the Biggest Loser. I was up for what is that? What whatever the one was on the something the weight loss division. It was the makeover something extreme makeover the weight loss. What's the name? I was up for that show, and then I was up for a show on Lifetime, and I was up for a show. And then when I went, Three Ball Production, I believe, is the company for um, The Biggest Loser. So I was supposed to be on a show, and then they changed the format to under 40, over 50, and they wound up telling me I wasn't going to be on after I had made all this arrangement to go out to California, took the time off, whatever. And I wound up losing like $10,000 behind that foolishness. So Biggest Loser, I got beef with them. But then Extreme Weight Loss, okay, Extreme Makeover, the weight loss edition. I was up for that show, and when I went to Philly to interview with the producer, he was so disrespectful. But I guess he wasn't used to talking to a man of color of intelligence. Because he asked me this question. He said, don't you feel embarrassed about being a physical education, health education teacher, being a man of size? I said, no, I'm actually a very good person to help kids understand what happens when they stop playing a sport, because I played football and basketball. I said, what happens when they stop playing a sport and all this weight shows up that you weren't anticipating? But I have my degrees and I've been teaching for a while. He said, yeah, but it just doesn't look the part. I said, nothing looks the part of a lot of things, but I feel you. So I said, let me ask you a question. He said, sure. I said, how many children have you worked with? And how many children have you mentored? He said, none. I said, what rates you to judge me when you have done none of the things that I've done? He said, well, excuse me, you're trying to get on my show. I said, no, we are having a conversation at the moment. Your show can kiss my, I was a little more brash than he said, excuse me. I said, I'm talking to you. You've never sat with children who look to you to save their lives, but you're going to criticize me for some show? Man, listen, I'm out. And then when VH1 was it VH1? I think it was VH1 had some show. It was some stupid show where you had to put up $10,000 and all these people lived in a house and all this other stuff. It was some coon ass show. And when they wanted me to interview in Manhattan, I get there and who's coming off the elevator? Same dude. I said, man, yo, keep that. I'm not even talking to you. I'm out. And the last one was Lifetime. When they said, and here's another thing that y'all don't know, they have you fill out a 25, I'll go back to The Biggest Loser. They have you fill out a 25, 26 page questionnaire about yourself, right? So I asked them, I said, what happens to this information once we go through the show and all that? They said, well, we hold on to it. So when you hear artists, actors, actresses say, I don't know where that information came from about my past. It's from stuff like that. They release it on purpose because somebody is sitting there with a big file of stuff that you talked about before you were famous. And they literally throw it out there if they want to try to destroy you. Like, you once said that you had sex and it's like, where'd that come from? Because they're just waiting for you to get famous and do it. I was like, nah, I'm not filling that out. And with Lifetime, when I told them I wasn't going to be on the show, oh, here's the thing with Lifetime I found interesting. Well, y'all see I wear my cross around my neck. I always do. When the guy did the Skype, this is how old that was. We did the Skype video. He said, could you take your cross off? I said, for what? He said, well, the directors, I don't think will really like you to wear the cross because if you're on the show, you're not going to be wearing the cross anyway. I said, would you ask a Jewish man to take off his yarmulke? He said, excuse me? I said, you heard me. Would you ask a man of the Jewish faith to take off his yarmulke? He said, well, we're not talking about that. Yes, you are. You're asking me to take off one of my artifacts that is connected to my faith. I don't understand how that is the same. And he said, oh, okay, we'll do the interview. Okay, we did. And then they wanted me to do the show. But when I read that 25 page or 26 page, no, I said, I'm not doing that. And then the director called me first and he was like, You'd be fantastic, and you'll be doing great for your people, and you get an opportunity to be on TV. And I asked him one simple question. I said, at what cost? He said, excuse me? I said, at what cost? He said, what are you talking about? I said, if I do what you're asking, I have to become something that works for you. What does that cost me? He said, it won't cost you anything. We're going to pay you. I said, no. What do I give up to get the money, though? And he said, you do understand this is how television works. And I said, that's why I won't be on television. You take care. And that was it. I can't get upset about money I never put my hands on. But the thing I won't do, you won't have me tap dancing on nobody's. My integrity is worth too much for that. So yes, I've had the opportunity to be on 4 different shows. If you look up the transcript, look up CNN 2007. Yes, 2007. I was the father that turned his daughter in to the police when she committed a crime. And everybody thought I was a snitch. And I said, no. I told someone else's little girl in school that same day, you need to call your mom and tell her what you did. She said, but Mr. B, my mom is gonna get me. I said, she'd rather hear it from you than me. Call your mother. And I remember hearing her mom blasting her on the phone. I remember seeing the tears come down her face. So that night when I got the call from my daughter's mother saying, you know what your daughter did? And I said, well, I went to go look and saw that my daughter did something real stupid and put it on video. I was like, you got to own that. And here's the problem. If you tell me that all these years later my daughter wouldn't have talked to me, I pray for her every night, but she doesn't talk to me because she's mad. And I get it. And we have tried to talk, but she just, and I get it. And that's why when I say I understand a lot of things that happen, but you can't call yourself a child of God. You can't say you're standing on faith and then turn your head because it's going to make something hurt in your life. You can't do that. You can't. But yet too many people come on and they throw rocks and they do whatever and they're not willing to stand on it themselves. You have to be. Even if it hurts, even if it's going to cost you. I pray for my daughter every night. And some point, she'll want to have, yeah, she is, but it's okay. I pray for her every night. And if at some point she wants to come back home, read the story of the prodigal son, you'll understand. And if the Lord calls me home before she decides to mend that fence, then I hope the memory of me is enough to comfort her when I'm not here. But I can't force her in anything. 40 something, almost 40 years old. You have to live with what you do. So when I talk, I'm not just talking because I went to school. I've lived this. I have lived this. And I stand on things that a lot of other people run away from. Don't wear the title if you're not going to wear the heat that comes with it. What it is. And you have to be okay. Does it hurt? Yeah, it hurts, but it is what it is. Always. But here's, the funny thing is, I pray. I have a lot of kids. Yeah, listen, I was a whore. Oh my gosh, read my book. I pray for my children because here's the thing. You can't be out here laying with women, make babies, and think that that's the proper way to do it. You cannot. And there's a price to pay. So when I tell you I understand what Tim needs, it's because I needed it. It is a struggle. And I owned mine. And that's another thing too. Thank you for sharing that, Mushi. Thank you for saying that, sharing that. Please understand, anybody that's still watching, all you guys is watching, thank you. When you change your life, right, it doesn't mean that everybody around you is going to be okay with your changes. It also doesn't mean that everybody else is going to move when you move. They may hate who you became. And you got to be okay with that. And we need you in these. No, you don't need me in these TikTok streets. TikTok don't want this. When I started, they deleted the what's name. You don't want that. Don't want that. But I don't mind. Listen, I'm here. But please understand that when you change your life, it doesn't mean that everybody around you is going to be cool with it. It also doesn't mean that people who say they love you now are going to love you later. And some of this The changes that you make are going to require you to be all by yourself. This is where faith comes in. Sometimes you got to trust that the reason why you made the changes are worth why you're alone right now, but you're not going to be alone forever. I don't chase fame, I don't chase stardom, and I don't chase money, and I damn sure don't chase women anymore. And the reason why is my peace of mind, there's no value on that. My focus is my wife and my daughter. All my kids are grown. All my kids know I'm here. I have a great relationship with some, and it's two, my daughter and my oldest son. But because I didn't have the relationship I was supposed to have with their moms, I got to live with that. And that's okay. Because once you say I'm sorry, it ain't on me. Once you apologize from a great place, that doesn't mean that the apology is going to be accepted and people are going to forget what you did to them. They may never get over that, but that's not on you. Your job, my job, and anybody listening to this, your job is simply to say, I'm sorry from an honest place and leave it alone. And if they never come back, they can't say you didn't offer an apology. And you got to live with it. The Lord said the wages of sin is death. He just never told you what type of death. Death of peace, death of your money, death of relationship, death of your status. And then there's physical death, of course. But there's death to a lot of things, and you got to live with it and own it and be okay with it. Most people don't. They talk a great game. Oh, yeah, it is. It has to be. You know why? Most people, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to put a number on. I hate doing that. I'm going to put a number on. I think 80% of the people on the planet like when somebody just gives them the truth, even if it hurts, because at least they know. And I tell my wife all the time, tell people to pay you the compliment of being direct. That's the greatest compliment you can tell somebody. Be direct. Let me decide how I'm going to deal with it. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Just give it to me. People go, you want the good news or bad? Just talk. Good news or bad news. Just talk. I'll figure out what I'm going to feel. So how do you forgive and move? Oh, hold on a second. How do you believe and move forward correctly, even if they apologize sincerely? Well, that is a faith issue. That is an internal spiritual issue. I don't know what your faith position is because for a person like me, I rely on faith to help me make sense of things that I can't figure out in other people. If you're not a faith based person, I would say by holding on to the negative, it is now causing you to be sick when the person has already said, I'm sorry. You have to figure out a way to let go of the negative emotions by connecting yourself to positive actions going forward. Now, if you're a person of faith, this is where you rely on your faith to be able to say, Lord, you knew I would be here, so I'm going to move forward and trust that you're going to move the things that I need moved out of my way while I do the work. But if you're not a person of faith and I don't project my faith onto anyone, I would then say you have to figure out a way to build yourself back to what works for you based on the apology once you get it. And I hope that makes sense. Oh, what time is it? Oh my God. All right, guys, listen, I love you guys. It's been fun. And so it is time for me to jump off here and get some rest. But like I said, I'm gonna try to jump on a couple other times. I have faith in God, but it just scares me what happened again. No, no, no. I'm gonna rock with that before I go. What if it doesn't? Don't be scared of what has not happened because of what has already happened. Mindfulness, stay in the moment. Right now, you're not hurting. Right now, that person is no longer in your life, hopefully. You have to work on you because remember, if I work on it now, my future automatically changes. So why would I worry about it happening again if I'm better now? Because now I can see the red flags. Now I know what I would like. Now I know what I would want. So be the best you in the moment and your future changes. Do not hold on to something that has not happened because of something that has already happened. That's like dragging the past forward and beating yourself up now. I talk about that in my therapy sessions as well. All right. But listen, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you. All of you have a wonderful night. I am sure I will try to get back on again. Thank you. It has been, you have to choose you all the time because how can somebody know how to make you happy If you don't know what makes you happy, remember, happiness is an internal thing. It does not come from someone on the outside. No one can make another person happy. They can assist them in what already makes them happy, but they have to know. That is why there's so much problems in relationships now. People are searching for someone to make them happy when actually the happiness comes from inside. Once you know what makes you happy, then you can share that with somebody else and they can travel with you. They can't make you happy. Stop looking for it. Look inside. And then you'll be surprised how you then find exactly what you need. All right. I'm sure I'll be back on later on this week when I have some time, but I'll post it when I am. And if you have any questions, feel free. I'm sure I'll replay this somewhere or whatever, and I'm sure some of it will be on the T pages or whatever. But have a great night, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Good night. God bless. See, I'm trying to all go up. See how skilled I am.